PUBG Sports fans, I'm your PUBG Sports guide, Annie, and I'm here with Paper Thin.
Hey guys, it's great to be back for another episode of the PUBG Esports News Show.
So we brought a special topic today. We're going to talk about PEPS Plus. We've collected a lot of questions from PUBG Esports community from all over the world, and we're going to be answering to those questions today.
Yeah, so PEPS Plus is a system that goes more in depth with PUBG stats, just beyond the normal basic things like kills and damage.
So let's hop into the first question.
All right, first question. Are you planning to open a website just like General API?
Since PEPS Plus is still in the beta service phase, not all the indicators are finalized, but once it's finalized, our developers are planning to open the websites for users to check the indicators at a single glance, but we're not sure that if it's going to be happening in the near future. Let's see the second question. There seems not enough data since only PCS data is included in PEPS Plus. Are you planning to add data from regional leagues and qualifiers or etc.?
Yeah, so when PEPS Plus was first introduced, our developers wanted to add the regional data in. However, because each region is allowed to do their own formats, it didn't quite work out in terms of allowing it for each region.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. Are you planning to include data in 2019 when the super rule set was applied?
Okay, so if you include 2019 data in the current PEPS Plus system, it's going to throw things off a bit. Part of the reason is because a lot of players have either retired or changed teams or even regions in some case. So that's going to make things hard to compare to 2020, and it wouldn't really reflect correctly.
That's true. But our developers will pile up 2020 PEPS Plus data and share players' yearly performances and conditions through 2020 overall PEPS Plus. Let's move on to some more specific questions about PEPS Plus categories.
All right, So let's see. First question, what is the meaning of numbers in each stat? So what does it mean to have a high number?
So as for the player stats, all the indicators are listed according to their respective scores. For instance, even if a player records 100 in the finishing indicator under the battle category, this doesn't mean that this player has nothing but knocks and kills, but instead, this means that the player records the highest score in this certain indicator in the region concerned.
So that means there can only be one player with a 100 score in each category.
Yeah, he's at the top. Also for player types, all the indicators aside from combat distance and performance by map are listed according to their respective scores. These two indicators shows players' gameplay style.
Right, so if the player records a high score in these categories, that would mean that this shows their respective game style well.
That's true. So let's move on to the next question. Ooh, this question is interesting. In North America, Luke 12 ranked first in terms of damage, but why was his ranking so low? To compare with, Shrimzy with lower damage stats than Luke is showing much higher numbers in battle category. Why is that?
Okay, so this one, is a little bit confusing and probably one of the most popular questions we got. So in this case, this is mostly talking about the firepower stat here. So for Luke 12, while he did an incredible amount of damage over the course of the tournament, it was over longer periods of time. Whereas Shrimzy was doing a lot of damage in very short amounts of time. And another one to keep in mind is, for example, finishing. That one just means how often your damage is resulting in a disabled state, like a knock or a kill. All right, so let's move on to our next question. Can you explain the survival stat a bit more, as it doesn't seem to simply match the amount players heal?
For this, I can bring the quote from dev letter. It is said that a higher weight is applied to the time survived than to the amount of health recovered. This means that the simple heal amount doesn't really give a big impact to the stats. Survival time gives more impact to the stats. So if a player heals himself a lot in the blue zone, related stats will go up a lot. But as this is actually a strategy to survive as long as possible and out of the circle, our developer thought that this player deserved higher survival stats. Okay, next question is about tactics. As for tactics, we can't always say that the center of circle is advantageous. Do you also consider some cases where the outskirts are more advantageous?
Okay, so tactics is a bit complicated. So first of all, tactics can't take into account the geographical situation, like if you have the high ground or if you're on the low ground or if you're in a compound or something like that. All tactics is looking at is the circle settings and your current situation involved. So it takes into account a lot of different things. Current size of the safe zone, where you are in relation to the safe zone, how many players are still alive, how many players are even near you in a certain area, and all of that factors into this stat. Now, this stat, you're gonna do better in this stat if you perform better in worse situations, and if you perform worse in good situations, then your ranking is gonna go lower. So in this case, better or worse is relative mostly to the center of the circle, but there are many other factors involved. All right, next up. Currently, all the teammates have the same team density parameter figures. How will you enhance this?
So for this, our developer said that they did consider applying different stats for each player when developing this parameter, but they decided to make this indicator to help identify each team's gameplay style. So our developers will see if it's reasonable to apply different figure to each player and may make improvements accordingly. Okay, last but not least, are you planning to reflect accuracy-related stats?
Okay, so yeah, it is a little bit difficult with accuracy to differentiate between all the situations and everything. Like, for example, let's say you're shooting at someone in smoke or you're shooting at someone that's parachuting down. That's going to drastically alter your accuracy stats in ways that are hard to really accurately represent.
That's true. Other than accuracy-related stats, a lot of fans and players have asked to add more stats, such as stats related to specific items or weapon. Our developers understand that we have a lot of interesting stats and they can extract those data, but it's really hard, it's really tough to include them in PEPS Plus. We might be able to create another content to play with if you show more interest in such data. Wrapping up, here's the comment from Gerald Kim, developer of PEPS Plus. As PEPS Plus was created for PUBG esports fans, we will accept and review feedbacks from various perspectives as much as possible, and then refine it to provide the fairest form stats through in-game data. For the rest of the year, we'll try to expand our data into more interesting and enjoyable content and provide more reliable data to our fans. So today we've talked about PEPS Plus. We've collected questions from PUBG's first fans and we could answer to those questions. I hope people like PEPS Plus more and understand about this. How did you feel today?
Yeah, I thought today was really, really good. I find these kind of things to be really, really fascinating, especially stats involved with esports. So this was a lot of fun to do, and hopefully we can do something like this again.
I had a long meeting with developers to prepare for this content. So next news episodes will be about PCS2, upcoming PCS2. We can talk about regional qualifiers and which teams have made advance to PCS2 events, so stay tuned. And we have a good news today. PUBG Esports official YouTube reached 100,000 subscribers today. Yay!
All right, well, thank you so much, guys, for your continued support. And make sure you stay tuned for more PUBG Esports news.
And more PUBG Esports content. Hi PUBG Esports fans, I'm your PUBG Esports guide, Annie, and I'm here with Paper Thin.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of the PUBG Esports News Show.
So today we're going to talk about the upcoming PUBG Continental Series 2, the whole participating team list, and the watch points we have here.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be really exciting. Not only are we covering the teams and players, but we have a new format this time around. It's going to be 6 days with 4 games per day for each region. So this is going to be a lot of fun and I think should be really good for the fans.
So we have a week more to enjoy PCS2. So check out the calendar and don't ever miss a single match. And also, Pick'em Challenge is also back, so don't forget to participate. First, let's start with Asia. Here, we can find 11 new teams compared to PCS1. It's going to be a whole new competition here. We do have 4 teams which participated in all PCS events, like 4 Angry Men, Infantry, Tiamba, and OGN2s, but they will have to have a new strategy because they have to compete with whole new teams.
Yeah, exactly. While some of these teams are going to be familiar to PUBG esports fans, a lot of them did not participate in PCS1. And so things are really getting jumbled. And especially, I think a lot of the drop locations are going to be contested in the Asia event. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
I'm really interested in the landmark fight on school and apartment zone and Pochinki. How do you think about that?
Yeah, exactly. There's two, I think probably the 2 most interesting battles that are going to be taking place on Erangel is going to be between 4AM and Ghibli for the school and apartments. Now, historically, Ghibli has taken control of that location from 4AM, so we'll see if that continues. The other one is going to be SMG and OG and Entis over Pochinki. Now, Entis tries to fight over Pochinki. It doesn't really seem to go well for them. So in recent history, it seems like they've been more willing to move away from that location. Will that be the case this time around? Because China teams really seem dedicated to fighting over their landmarks.
I pretty much watched all of the PCS2 Asia qualifiers, and the last day of Asian qualifiers were insane. For example, in PJS, Detonation Gaming White and Sengoku Gaming was first and second before the last match, but both 2 teams struggled in the last match, and Sun Sister and Element 36 earned a lot of points and achieved that 2 last tickets.
And to mirror that, in Korea, we had 3 teams that tied for the same amount of points for the very final spot to qualify for PCS2 Asia. So it was an intense final game with Afrika Freaks and Genji and VSG all having the same amount of points, but Afrika Freaks won the last game and had more kills than the other 2 teams, so they were able to come out ahead.
Yeah, it was really shocking not to have Genji in PCS2.
The other team I would like to highlight from Korea is T1. Now they have picked up Starlord, the veteran from VSG, who has moved over to be the in-game leader for T1, and he led them to a victory in PCS2 Korea.
In China, Infantry, the former champion of PCS1, won PCL, and I'm really glad to see the constant performance here, so I'm expecting a lot in PCS2 also. And I want to highlight SMG. This team is consisted of players who have been playing in global events in 2019, so I think these players are really capable of playing in global events. Also, Met98 from this team represented the Team China in PNC 2019. One more interesting thing here is that 4AM barely made it to the PCS2 by 1 point. It's always amazing to see that 4AM eventually make it to the global events no matter how.
Yeah, they're really crazy. I really would like to also highlight the 2 teams that qualified from Chinese Taipei. This is going to be their first time in a big global event in a while for some of them. Gex Ace, of course, looking to try to match their sister team's success. And Team Sadies is a team full of very young, talented players who are finally old enough to get their shot at playing in one of these global events.
So next is North America. We can see a lot of familiar teams here, but we have to talk about Shoot to Kill. They dominated group stage, they won most kills, most assists, most winner chicken dinner, and community voted MVP Purdy Curry. They've won group stage by 63 points. This is really a huge point gap, but would there be teams to challenge Shoot to Kill by any chance?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are a lot of teams who can challenge Shoot to Kill here. I'm going to focus on 3. The first being Oath, a young team, a team full of really, really mechanically gifted players, of course, winning the PCS Charity Showdown. So these guys always going to be in it, I think. So the second team I'm looking at is Radiance, a team full of veterans who've been playing for quite some time. 3 of their players actually participating in PGC 2019. Los, Waldo, these guys are really good. McCoy, I mean, what an incredible team to have. And then finally, I'm going to look at Sonics. They do support the superior pizza, being pineapple on pizza, so you got to give them some love.
Yeah, I love pineapple pizza too. But I want to talk about Tiggleton. He's back with Sonics. How do you think about this team synergy?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how they gel. I mean, Tiggleton's been kind of bouncing in and out of teams for a while. Of course, we know he's an insane player on his own. He's capable of popping off at any time. The real question is how fast are they going to be able to get their teamwork going? If they can get it going, they absolutely have a shot.
Lastly, I want to talk about Team Veritas, the former Wildcard Gaming, which was the biggest rival to Shoot to Kill in PCS1. All 4 members moved to Team Veritas, so I really want to see the rivalry again in PCS2, and I'm expecting a lot from them too. So next is APAC. I see a lot of familiar teams here, and I see some new teams, but among these teams, I really want to highlight 2 teams, Division X Gaming and Archangel Predators. Division X Gaming, they were the champion, and Archangel Predator, they led this event in the first week, but we couldn't meet them in PCS1, but now they came back, and I'm really expecting a lot from these teams.
Yeah, for me, I'm really going to highlight MSC Theraton, the 2-time champions of the PTS, the Thailand series. So I really think there's a lot of potential here, as Thailand has really shown to be a strong country in this region. The other team I'd say is more of a dark horse, but I think has a decent shot at potentially winning this, as Battle Arena Elites. There's a lot of really strong players who've kind of bounced around from teams like Flood, who used to be on Atletico. You've got Loki's, who's been on BAE for a while, Neferhor from Australia, and then Sophia from Malaysia as well. So this is a really, really good team.
What about the Oceanian teams? Like, they now have only 2 seeds, but I think Astra and Fury are the best 2 teams in Oceania.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going with Fury. They just are so consistent. They're the best team in Oceania for sure. So for this team, they definitely have a real shot, and I'm definitely considering them for my pick to win APAC.
So here we have a lot of teams who made it to all PCS events, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's been quite a few teams that have made it to all 3 PCS events so far. Coming from Vietnam, both Cerberus and Divine have qualified for all 3, and from Thailand, Buriram and Daytrade Gaming have both made it as well. So this might be their chance to really shine.
And last, we have 2 Indonesian teams again from the future. From PCS Charity Showdown is back, and Victim Rise is always consistent in their league, so I'm expecting a lot from them too. Last but not least is Europe. Europe, we can see a lot of familiar teams, but there are a lot of strong teams here, so any teams can win here. We really have to talk about the last day of the group stage. Navi, they won 4 chicken dinner in a row, earning 96 points. This is a record. And FaZe Clan, they showed the FaZe Sunday, earning like 87 points. They were a huge points there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are some of the mainstay teams, the teams that we've come to know and love in Europe, really stepping up on the final day, making one of the most exciting days in PUBG Esports history. So many exciting days across so many regions, but you really love to see it. FaZe looks like they're finally starting to come together. Navi adding Orange seems to be a good addition, replacing Kemba, but Senya continues to lead whatever team he's on to good results.
I also want to talk about Clib moving into Team Liquid from Tempest. How is it going?
Seems to be going really well. It seems like whatever player you fit into the Team Liquid machine does really quite well. So I'm excited to see this with the results, having him on the team for the first time, being this good. Maybe this is finally the roster that can take them to the heights where they can win a championship. So I'm really excited about that. Another player that I'm interested to see how he does is Kemba, moving off of Navi over to Winstreak. They looked pretty darn good, to be honest, for their first time together as well. So they're definitely a team you got to keep in mind. I mean, there's so many good teams in Europe.
I know, Northern Lights, they've been performing so well constantly throughout all PCS events, and TSM, they've kind of struggled in PCS2 group stage, but they were the champion of PCS1 Europe. So I can't wait to find out which team will be the champion of PCS2 Europe out of these marvelous teams. And again, we have PCS2 Pick'em Challenge on track. I really love the PCS2 items. How do you think about it?
Oh, they're great. I mean, once again, just awesome items to choose from.
Yeah. So to get the reward items, you need EPs and building coupons, and we'll tell you how to get them. So for EPs, you can participate in Pick'em Challenge. And the main event is, as always, predict the winners. So you can easily predict the winners of each region and get 100,000 EPs.
Once again, the Pick'em Challenge, it's going to be free to choose the rivalries. And this time around, though, the way you get points is going to be a little bit different. It is a weighted voting system, meaning if you pick a team and you're one of the low percentage people and your team does better, then you're going to get way more points than if you say pick a team that has a lot of votes for it and they win. So it's kind of an interesting gamble you got to take.
Yeah, you have to think a lot before you pick. You can also get additional EPs and voting coupons by simply watching PCS2 live streaming on Twitch. You can get it by Twitch drops. And also there will be the quizzes during matches, and if you get right, you can also get EPs.
Right, and also the same thing's gonna happen like in PCS1. There's gonna be codes that come up on the screen. There's only a limited number of people who can get them, so you gotta be ready to enter them into your PUBG client as soon as possible. And console players, don't worry, we got you guys. Details of how you can participate are coming up soon too.
So don't forget to participate in Pick'em Challenge and get exclusive PCS2 items. And here's our pick. PUBG Continental Series 2 will kick off on August 27th with PCS2 Asia, so mark your calendar and stay tuned. I'm really excited to see who's going to be the champions.
Yeah, I really can't wait. And thank you guys so much for your continued support. PCS events have been awesome so far this year, and we couldn't do it without you.
So don't forget to subscribe and like for more PCS2 news.
And good evening everyone, welcome dito sa Season 2 ng PUBG Continental Series. Ladies and gentlemen, we are cast for the day. My name is Vin, alongside with me is Berting Magiting. And pre, today is a very
yes,
special
indeed,
day.
Indeed.
Lalo na sa mga fans ng Archangel Predator because they are back.
They're back mga kaibigan, and this is the series to nga ng ating Continental Series. Kung mapapansin nyo nung previous Continental natin naglaro, walang iba kundi The Bahamut Gaming.
Bahamut Gaming.
But for this tournament, walang iba, Archangel Predator. They back to represent mismo yung ating Philippine flag para dito sa ating tournament na to. And take note, isa lang ang Pilipinas sa labang ito. So basically, magiging mahirap to para sa team Archangel Predator.
Well, apparently naman, sa Continental Series 1, mag-isa lang naman.
Mag-isa lang din ang Bahamut, yes.
Pero let's see.
Let's see.
Sila.
Indeed. Pero bago tayo magsimula dyan, pasalamatan muna natin ang ating mga sponsors, di ba?
Thank you very much, PUBG Craft and Game Unit, and of course, Predator. And syempre, yung ating
Filipino broadcast natin.
Yung official Filipino broadcast natin, yung production natin. Thank you very much, Spawn Point, for everything. And once again, to all the people who just tuned in, this is the PUBG Continental Series number 2 for the Asia Pacific region, mga kaibigan. Marami nagtatanong, bakit Asia Pacific region? Ano-ano yung mga teams na nandito? We have a lot of countries as well na nandito ngayon sa Asia Pacific. We have Indonesia, we have Thailand, we have Vietnam, we have Australia, we have MYNSG, and
Philippines.
We have Philippines as well. Mag-isa lang ang Pilipinas dito, mga kaibigan. At makikita natin dito kung paano mananalo ang Pilipinas.
Indeed. So,
hindi
guys,
naman ako nagpapakabayas.
Tama.
Pero ano to nasa Filipino broadcast tayo, di ba?
So basically,
wala tayong choice.
I-support mo yung sarili mong sarili mong lahi. So guys, sa mga nagtatanong pala guys, yung ating observer dito is galing mismo sa pit ng ating kakabila. So basically, hindi natin makokontrol yung ating mga camera. So randomize ang natin,
yung production. Kasi yung feed kasi kinukuha natin sa mismong main sa main prod nila, and ito na, mga kaibigan, this is the overview of what will happen today, and the point system as well for day 1. For today, we're gonna see 2 Miramars and 2 Erangel, and for day 2, and yung nakita naman, and for the point system, kung parang sa
PSS lang.
Sa PSS lang, PSS1, tsaka sa ating mga tournaments, top 1, you will get 10 points, and 1 kill is equal to 1 point.
So kung mapapansin mo, Kuya Bill, yung mga teams dito basically magiging aggressive din as well. So alam naman siguro yan ng mga PUBG players. So tingnan natin kung ano bang gagawin na diskarte ng Archangel Predator, dahil mahirap to para sa kanila, dahil even though na they have the international skills, still yung mga teams dito hindi basta-basta. Wala kang pwedeng sabing underdog sa tournament na ito, dahil lahat to deserving na makapunta sa PUBG Continental Series.
Yung mga napanood natin kanina, yung si ate tsaka si kuya na nagsasalita kanina before
sila yung
matapos,
host. Yes.
Sinasabi na they are rooting for MSC Theaton to win from Thailand. Actually Berting, sobrang lakas ng Thailand dun sa PCS1. Sobrang lakas talaga ng Thailand. Top 1, top 2, top 3 ata is Thailand. Yes. And let's see if ano ba mangyayari ngayon. If ang nangyayari kasi sa PCS1, sa Continental Series 1, medyo hindi sila paka-agre-agre. As you can see, parang super duper safe play sila compared sa mga group stages talaga eh. Kasi this is the last time, parang ito yung huli talaga eh. So everyone should be
pagtapos
safe talaga.
Ito kasi guys, pagtapos kasi nito Continental, wala nang kasunod to. Hanggang dito, ito na yung pinakadulo ng tournament. So basically, wala nang direct invite into the other tournament. So ito na yung pinaka-last. Pero kasi, Kuya Bill, ang tanong kasi dito, paano i-depensa ng Archangel Predator yung pagiging representative nila dito sa Philippines, di ba? Well, tsaka guys, nga pala, kung meron kayong mga boats, binoto nyo ba ang AA?
Oo,
Ako
oo.
bumoto ako sa AAP.
Doon sa mismong
Sa
PUBG
PUBG
client.
client, yes.
Oo,
Ako
syempre
bumoto. Bumoto ako doon.
Bumoto ako nun eh. Tsaka syempre, Sir Alex, salamat.
Sir Alex, shoutouts ka pala sa,
Sir
sa
Alex, salamat
PUBG,
sa, salamat sa codes. And speaking of codes, mga kaibigan,
Ay,
speaking of codes, ito na syempre, bibigyan namin kayo ng mga malulupit na codes later on because all throughout the day, magpapakita kami ng codes.
Indeed.
And don't worry mga kaibigan kasi if nakita nyo yung codes, kahit ilang tao
Pwede.
pwedeng makakuha nung codes na yun. Pero if na-input mo na yung isang code, that's
bawal
it.
mo na. Bawal So,
na.
sa ibang coach ko na. Pero ito na, mga kaibigan, ladies
go!
and gentlemen, this is the game number 1 para sa PUBG Continental Series 2 natin. Day number 1, game number 1, Miramar map kaagad tayo.
Meron
Let's
pa
see.
tayong hangover eh.
May
no?
hangover.
Oh.
May hangover pa nung last tournament. Pero to, let's see kung paano gagalaw ang Archangel Predator. Syempre sa mga nanonood dyan guys, please do share the stream and support our Philippine representative. Walang iba kundi ang AAP. So ito na ang ating flame path papunta sa ating Chumasera. Kung mapapansin nyo guys, yung mga teams natin dito, unting-unti na bumababa. Yung Divine Esports, pupunta sila dito sa may bandang Monte Nuevo.
If you're gonna compare PCS1 to PCS2, we've seen how Bahamut Gaming conquered Miramar back then. Kitang-kita natin na sobrang lakas ng Bahamut Gaming dito sa Miramar. And let's see if ano bang gagawin ng Team Pilipinas dito for sure.
Ako guys ha, sasabihin ko na sa inyo, this is a bias. Wala na tayo susuportahan dito, Pilipino lang.
Pilipinas lang talaga.
Pilipino lang ang susuportahan natin. Pero ito muna, syempre, yung ating camera, pumunta muna tayo dito sa mga ibang squads, especially the Divine Esports. Itong Divine Esports, napakatagal na nito sa tournament, pero medyo humina sila dahil wala dito yung mga dating team.
Divine Esports.
Si Levi's na lang ang natira dito.
Iba, tama. Iba yung players ng Divine Esports comparing PCS1 to PCS2. Iba to.
Si Levi's na lang ang natira. Well, si Levi's kasi siya yung parang founding members ng ng Divine Esports.
Kumbaga siya yung
siya yung
franchise.
Franchise player. Hindi na siya nawala. Pero dati sobrang
Ito
lakas
na
ng
mga
Divine
kaibigan,
Esports.
Archangel Predator, let's see if makakuha ba na isang mga kaibigan Momonji trying to take down that player though. Pero yun nga lang, missing all those shots. Pero but still, Momonji gave that player half HP left and let's see if ano pa mangyayari pa dito.
Sobrang swerte.
Uy, si Mio, yun ang ng X-Stadium dito. Isa to sa pinakabagong teams ngayon na pumasok dito sa PCS2 and let's see if ano bang magagawa ng team na to. At kung nakikita mo dito si Ngoktan. Si Ngoktan, kasali yan sa PCS1.
Iba ang team niya. So basically parang nag-change roster na rin dito yung ibang team. Actually wala nga dito yung nanalo nung PCS1 Sila Q-confirm ba yun?
It's Q-confirm.
Wala sila dito dahil nag-iba na rin sila ng
Uy,
team.
sila Chibirit.
Pero to, the Big Team Rise. Big Team Rise is one of the teams din na kailangan mong tutukan pagdating sa PUBG professional scene dahil matagal na rin itong teams to, especially kasabayan nila dito, walang iba kundi yung Divine Esports, Archangel Predator, yan, iba pa yung lineup ng AAP noon. Pero to, the Buriram Esports, mula sa natin, medyo rotation lang din. Parang 3 minutes into the game,
wala
64 players, wala pa, phase number 1 pa. So usually ito yung
papakiramdaman lang tayo dito
phase,
At saka, if we're gonna compare PCS1 as well, 5 games ang PCS1, diba? Pero ngayon, 4 na lang. Mas kumonte. Pero actually, ito yung maganda dito. Archangel Predator really tried their best para makapasok dito mga kaibigan. Because,
si Kuya Eddie na naman, no?
Kaya sila nakakuha ng slot dito because they won the PUBG
Philippine Series.
Yes, the Predator PUBG Philippine Series. Then after that, 50 games yun.
50 games in total.
50.
Dikit nga yung laban nun, Bill.
Nga,
Dikit ang laban. Sobrang tindi. Siyempre, including the DK Esports, sila yung talagang nakipagdigdigan ng bato dun sa mga teams natin.
Si Musa tae, mga kaibigan. Andito
pero
na.
Ito, wala pa eh. Alam niyo naman guys, pag phase number 1, this is pwede natin sabihin looting phase, pwede natin sabihin rotation phase. Pero may mga teams kasi dito na talaga naghahanap na sila ng kalaban. Pero to, speaking of kalaban, Ayan, meron kayong kalaban.
Meron kayong codes ngayon mga kaibigan. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala, hindi naman kayo maglalaban-laban dun kasi lahat kayo is makakakuha niyan mga kaibigan. Yun yung codes natin. So, i-type in nyo na yan sa
Feeling
PUBG
ko
client
t-shirt
nyo
yun
for
eh.
sure.
Ano ba yan? T-shirt ba yan? Maganda rin ang makukuha natin coach. So, sa mga nakakuha pala pa, sabi na lang sa comments kung ano nakuha nyo kung t-shirt ha.
Steam wallet.
Kung alam mo kung Steam wallet yan, iba. Iba si PUBG.
Pero alam mo actually ito rin yung maganda dito partner kasi kung nakikita mo yung two teams natin from Australia, nandito pa rin sila.
Ay, sila wala parang free jowa.
Ito,
Iba yan,
once na ininput nyo to, antayin nyo lang yung notification sa Facebook, mayroong mag-i-invite sa inyo na in a relationship.
Pero lalaki. Kunwari lalaki ka, lalaki.
At least may jowa ka.
Pero pag babae ka, parang gana pag babae parang gana
yung mga gusto mo talaga eh.
Parang gana pero ito ladies and gentlemen.
Oy, look at that spray that coming from Cheers from Dated Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Pero hindi ata napatay yung kuya mo, pero at least, di ba, Style G getting like 40% HP left, but it's okay. At least, yun naman yung importante dito eh. Takutin mo lang talaga sila kasi nagpapakiramdaman lang talaga yung mga tao dito. Pero Musate from Kaiser Tuna, all the way from Thailand. One of the newest team naman nandito ngayon sa ating tournament.
Bago lang sila dito sa tournament dati. Pero to paring Bill, yung Day Trade Gaming, one of the teams din na nagpasiklab din nito ng Series 1 dahil parang late gamer itong mga red zone eh.
Andito pa rin sila Astra dito rin eh. No?
Tsaka yung Star, yung mga galing sa Australia, yung mga black and white ang DP. Feeling ko hindi na sila black and white dahil dami ng araw ang nakalipas. So basically baka na-update na yung picture nila dito. Pero the victim rights.
At saka maganda rin dito kasi, Berting, pati yung mga gaming gears nila minsan pinapakita.
Mga
kompletos recados kung ilan yung DPI ng mouse nila, kung ano yung gamit ng keyboards
brand
nila.
Yes, gamit nila brand. Asan ba ang AP? Nasa may bandang taas pala ng Los Leones.
Actually, ang AAP kasi ang mostly
gitna.
Ang ginagawa nila nung PPS1 is lagi sila dito sa may upper left, dito sa may water treatment, dito sa may area na to. And makikita natin kung ano yung mga changes ng rotation ng gagawin nila. Of course, depende rin naman yan sa bilog. Movement ng bilog eh.
Tama, umano rin sila dun sa bilog. Kailangan mo rin talaga mag-adjust dun sa bilog. Hindi yung bilog ang mag-a-adjust sa'yo. Pero
ikaw mag-a-adjust
The
sa bilog.
Divine Esports, mga kaibigan, with his motorcycles, parang Jed. Tamang patalon-talon lang. The Fury as well ay nandito na sa ating Los Leones. Maganda yung position dito nila Ronon dahil isa sa mga pinakamataas na high grounds dito sa Miramar to. And hindi lang yun, may mga cover din dyan. And talagang inaano dito nila insight yung surroundings ng position ni Ronon para if ever na yung bilog hindi pumanig sa kanila, pwede silang lumipat doon.
Pero ito kung nakikita mo, yung ginagawa ng Team Fury ngayon, sila Ikikamukau, tsaka sila Insight,
Cerberus,
this is the strategy kung anong ginagawa ng AAP as well. Sobrang lawak ng area na sinasakupan nila.
No?
Okay lang kahit isa-isa lang sila dito. As long as they get more information for their team, it's okay. But ang pinaka-downside lang talaga nun, if may napitas yung isa, there's gonna be a huge chance na hindi na ma-revive yung player na yun.
Tsaka pag kinarush din talaga yung isa, ang laki ng casualties na pag nalugi sa manpower. Pero if ever na-clutch talaga ng sobra-sobra, sobrang swerte nyo dahil hindi kayo sa isang lugar pwedeng makapag-reposition ng ibang players or ibang squads nyo. Pero to, mga kaibigan, the Star. Mula sa Australia.
Ito ang Team Astra, mga kaibigan. Dito sila Zoidmate, sila Linksy, sila Nikos, tsaka sila Extreme, mga kaibigan. And now we are watching Zoidmate. Let's see if meron pa siyang papapati dito sa may...
Bago na picture nila.
Oo nga, dito sa may plane crash. Hindi na yung black and white, pre.
Hindi na yung black and white.
May kulay na. Selfie yung ginawa ng picture dito.
Hindi na. Parang hindi pa nga nagsuklay si Zoe Med
parang
kakagising
lang Pero Nuwarda from Burira United Esports from Thailand trying to pick off someone from Team CES from Vietnam. Team Cerberus though. Pero you're watching Nuwarda trying to push inside this compound.
Wala
pero
siyang sight
oo nga, hindi sila magkakakita dito. Medyo delikado dito sa Nuwarda. Pero at least andyan na yung reinforcement coming from Burira United Esports. This is gonna be a 4v2 situation. Nuwarda trying to go in. Pero let's see if makakapatay mo siya dito. Pero yung CES trying to pick off yung mga nasa labas. Pero si ZGO, si Scout,
Delikado Delikado sila dito Damoli mula dito kay Nuwadra. The smoke as well. Here comes Zego with the frag grenade. Talagang gigil dito yung ibang miyembro ng Cerberus Esports. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, the Astra, the squad mismo ng Astra, all ng Australia ay nandito na. Hindi pala, Buriram pala yun.
Oo, Buriram
Esports
sila dito mga kaibigan. This is a 2v4 situation actually. Cerberus Esports needs to get their backups ready agad kasi delikado dito kasi malayo yung dalawang players ng CES. Pero Buriram Esports, that is a very nice that is a very nice thing to do for them, just to bail out. Pero actually sayang din kasi lamang sila dun That is a 4v2 situation.
Lamang sa manpower pero kasi syempre
nakapwesto na kasi.
Ang iniisip din dito ng Buriram Esports, masyado pang maaga. Kumbaga pag nagkaroon kayo ng caution
ayan na po, hinahabol mga kaibigan.
Sinasabi dito, hindi naman pwedeng nakikipagbarila kayo tapos tatakbo-takbo sa amin. Dapat ang nasimulan, ang nasimulan nyo, tapusin nyo. Pero I think hindi na rin susugod dito yung ibang miyembro ng Cerberus Esports. That is a good call mula dito sa Buriram dahil this is just a phase number 2. So basically, ang aga ng casualties na pwede mangyari doon sa squads nyo dahil malulugi kayo sa manpower pagdating doon sa late game. Pero to,
wala pa.
Paring Bill.
DX Division X Gaming versus Team MSC Theraton from Thailand. So this is Vietnam versus Thailand mga kaibigan. And for MSC, just trying to back out lang, try to get advantage on that high ground as well. Pero at least hindi na makikita ng DXG kung nasan ba ang Team MSC.
May nagko-comment sa stream natin, first na daw ang Archangel Predator. Tama, wala naman sa mali. Nasa alphabetical
diba?
Syempre.
Number 1 na yan. Tournaments mga kaibigan. Pag international talaga, safe play talaga yan. Hindi talaga magpapatayan yung mga yan. Pero pag nasa Philippine tournament ka, pag Pinoy ka, matik na yan, patayan talaga agad.
Pag drop mo, patay ka agad Ganun kainit ang mga Pinoy. Pero to, Basil, with the frag grenade, tatama ba yung granada niya? I think it will not connect. Pero tama doon sa SUV niya. Ngayon yung MSC dito, delikado dahil wala na silang bigel na pwedeng gamitin. Subang. Ito si Roy Subang. Ito na naman si Roy Subang.
Subang getting tag right there, 89 HP left, pero si Nuwardra is right there in front of him. Pero yun nga lang, maganda yung mga reaches dito ni Nuwardra. That is a spray down. Nuwardra 68 HP.
Binabari siya sa likod nila Haizaki. Medyo delikado dito si Nuwardra. Subang with the flash. Matatama ba yung flash niya? I think it will not connect.
Uy, grabe!
With using the AKM to kill Nuwardra. And that is the
ang
first
gandang
that
timing.
Cerberus Esports getting the first kill dito sa tournament natin. And hindi lang yun, hindi pa tapos ang laban natin dahil gigil dito yung ibang miyembro ng Cerberus Esports. Kahit sino na lang makita sa mapa.
Ang ganda ng timing ni Subang doon.
Iba.
Nakita agad dito yung mga tropa natin from Buriram United
Namali rin
Esports.
si Nuwardra. Masyado kasi siyang open. Talagang kinumbit niya na ipupush niya dito si Subang. Hindi niya alam na kita siya dun sa open field ng mga teammates ng Cerberus Esports.
Nagkita-kita na naman
tayo
mag-isa
lang siya dun
Oo nga, pero yung nga lang mukhang nagkakaroon ata tayong gunshots dito, ladies and gentlemen. Team MG, mukhang meron ata ng kabarilan dito sa may gilid ng mapa. And for Team Astra or for Team Star though, kung nakikita mo yung rotation nila, talagang edge of the...
Laging dulo lang ng bilog. Talagang umaano lang sila dito sa blue circle na sumasabay lang sila dito sa out of play zone. Pero kung mapapansin mo, Kuya Bill, Archangel Predator, even though na hindi pa pinapakita sa mapa, nasa gitna na kasi sila So basically, hindi na nila kailangan mag-move. Ang kailangan nilang gawin is i-secure nila yung spot nila dito and try to kill dun sa other place.
Pero the next question is, do they have the right equipment for it? Do they have all the utilities as well? That is the question. And if you want to get more utilities or if you want to get new equipment, all you have to do is papatay ka talaga. Pero ngoktan, mga kaibigan, nag-iba ng team ang kuya mo. Ayaw na sa mga dati ng ka-teammate trying to kill that person from Team MSC Theraton. Pero at least 'di ba hindi na nabawasan, pero at least he is doing his best just to deal damage dito. Pero yun nga lang, nagkakabaril ulit tayo dito from Magic E-Force Imuma,
Kuya
mga
Basil
kaibigan,
Valdez.
with the spray down. Pero at least 'di ba, ang maganda sa mga ginagawa talaga natin, puro sprays, puro pick-offs, pero wala talagang napapatay kahit isa.
Yes, indeed. Pero ito, speaking of mamamatay mo si Kuya Basil, ay mamamatay na rin Kuya Vil. And there you go, isa na namang miyembro ng Cerberus Esports ang mawawala. Pero mapapansin nyo guys, this is just a safe game round para dito sa tournament natin dahil phase number 3 pa lang to at 2 players pa lang yung nawawala mismo sa ating tournament. Archangel, Predator, I guess they still inside of the circle natin dahil sa may bandang tasag naman sila ng bilog, pero pagdating siguro ng phase number 4 they need to move mismo sa gitna mismo ng ating Los Leones dahil hindi na sila papasok ng ating safe zone.
Knowing Archangel, Predator, mga kaibigan, hindi sila yung team na talagang dumediretso talaga sa gitna ng gitna ng circle talaga. As much as possible, they really want to pick off all these player, pero if they will go agad sa gitna ng safe zone, mga kaibigan, that is new to them for sure.
Kuya Bila, ito Bila, ang napapansin ko lang yung bilog natin, hindi napasok yung AAP dito dahil after next year, ayun, umano na, gumitna na sila. Basically, ang may pinakamagandang position dito, guys, yung KT. Kailangan na lang, ang pwede na lang gawin, akyatin na kagad nila itong mataas sa bundok. So basically, itong Buriram, akit na to dito sa high grounds. And yung KT, pwede silang mag-stay dito sa long houses na to. Samantalang yung Archangel, Predator, medyo delikado pa yung Team Philippines natin. Dahil hindi lang naman isang squad yung pwede nilang makalaban. More than 4 squads to and hindi rin siya pasok sa bilog. So basically, kailangan na kagad nilang pumunta doon sa high grounds para wala na silang makalaban na ibang squad na makakasabay mismo. Masyado kasing risky pag hinintay pa nila yung blue zone.
And now Team Fury, ikikamukha here from Australia, ladies and gentlemen. Pero kung nakikita mo, diba, 16 minutes on the clock, mga kaibigan. Phase 4 na tayo all the way na papunta na sa phase 5. Dalawa pa lang yun na mamatay.
Dalawa pa lang.
Oy, new codes for you guys. Pero yung alam mo kang magkakaroon ata tayo ng bakbakan dito because 3 teams
Bay,
here dito sa may
Richards. So ito yung grupo ni Alden Richards.
Chibirit, dito naman si Chibirit, mga kaibigan. Pero tatlong teams ang nandito. For sure, we have Indonesia, we have Thailand, and we have Australia.
Si Chibirit, hindi ba sa lupon yan?
Ha?
Sa lupon? Diba?
Chibibi yan, pre.
Chibibi ba yun?
Chibibi yun, Chong. Chibibi yun. Chibibi yun.
Ay, di ba siya, hindi ba yung sa lupon? Pero to speaking of kill, Rono, sa side dito ng Fury, he will knock down Akamari with the mini 14. I think he can still revive. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, from the future, Aukarin trying to get the kill para dun sa squads nila. Pero Defiant will be revive dito sa tournament natin. Pero the frag grenade mula dito sa ating Divine Esport, this is what you call this, medyo delikado yung position dito mismo ng F dahil dun sa positioning din dito ng Divine Esports. Lamang na lamang doon pagdating sa positioning ng Divine Esports.
Uy, yun nga naman, delikado ali dito si Tade from Team FTF, mga pati si Nando.
British
si Tade. Delikado na yung Team Indonesia, ladies and gentlemen, which is from the future. Dalawa na ang down sila, pero Divine Esports Turtle trying to cook that nade. Let's see if meron ba siya mapapatay dito, pero sees no one. Levi's from Divine Esports trying to cook all these grenades.
Para
might kill out one, pero yun nga lang, nag-bounce.
Oh my God, Levi's!
Levi's is now down, pero Vanotica killing Levi's right off the bat, pero Jekyll is starting as well. He's not gonna stop. Pero Divine Esports again, mga kaibigan, just stopping the push from the future, ladies and gentlemen.
From the future,
Divine Esports.
Tinanggalan ng future ng Divine Esports.
We've
yung
seen
FTF,
them play.
Ganun lang kabilis. Lamang naman talaga ang Divine Esports pagdating sa positioning. Pero kasi naka-knockdown sila
Dalawa ang knockdown
ang
kasi
malupit
from
doon,
the future
Nagmirado pa uwi. Sabi niya dito, wala na tayong future sa positioning natin. Pero yung Divine Esports, tinanggalan sila ng future. See you next game.
Kita-kits na lang next game.
Ganun kabilis. Nakapatay ba sila sa Divine Esports? Parang hindi nga ata sila nakapatay sa Divine Esports, Ay, nakapatay naman ng isa, pero still not worth it kasi 4 kayong naubos dun, paring Bill Pero ito na, yung game GH natin dito, medyo delikado. Ito na, the Archangel Predator, Cubs, knocking down. God knew, sa side dito ng game mo, medyo malayo na yung position
Si
dito ng
Boshima,
Archangel
kaibigan,
Predator,
let's see.
pare.
Uy, Cubs, nakapatay ng isa yung mga tropa natin, mga kaibigan.
Ay.
1 point na sa AAP.
Ito sabi ko sa inyo guys yung Archangel Predator, nakikinig sa akin yan. Saan sila pumunta? Doon mismo sa bundok. Sobrang dali kasi ng pwede.
Maganda. Chong, maganda ang position ng AAP ngayon.
Sobrang obvious kasi guys. Yun na naman talaga yung pinakamaganda pwede nilang punta. Hindi naman sila pumunta ng... Di naman sila pwedeng umikot. Talagang kailangan kunin nila yung high grounds dito.
Pwede nilang i-gatekeep ang Team GH.
Wala na to si something.
From Vietnam actually.
Something else. Meron kang something else ka nga talaga.
Something else.
Namatay ka sa Blue Zone. Ganun ka katindi.
We're watching Killer right now trying to gatekeep Team GH from Vietnam. Let's see if they will annihilate Team GH right there. Pero at least, diba, nakapatay na lang isa yung AAP natin. Oy, Diyos ko po mga kaibigan. Killa is down. Pero Momonji, let's see. Pero mapapatay dito. Oy, ayun na mga kaibigan. Taking down Vanotica from Team Daytrade Gaming. Pero let's see. Uy, si Killa. Wala na si Boss Killa. Hindi mainit ang tarima ni Boss Killa ngayon, mga kaibigan.
Pero paring Bila, game home squads is wala na dito sa ating tournament. Kung mapapansin nyo, ito ang iba klase, mga kaibigan. At ang pagkatao, nasa open field lang MSC. Wala na silang kotse. Gumamit pa sila ng smoke trail. Ngayon, dalawang squad ang makakalaban nila. Daytrade Gaming, also the Archangel Predator.
Oo nga, pwedeng i-sandwich ang Team MSC dito because KT is right there. Daytrade Gaming is right there as well. Pero up top, andun ng Team AAP. Let's see how MSC can deal everything na pwedeng mangyari sa kanila, mga kaibigan.
Pwedeng maki-AS na ng AAP.
Right there, trying to push out, pero they're really getting tagged. Sobrang sakit ng ginagawa ng Team Daytrade Gaming dito at saka ng Team KT. Pero let's see, si Godmeow kills one. Marcos, Diyos ko po, Cubs is now down as well. Pero Team Star, that is the prey. That is the spray. Godmeow is now dead. Extreme getting the point for Team Astra right now. Pero it's not yet over from Team Buriram Esports, mga kaibigan. Nandito pa sila. Si Godmeow, buhay pa ako kayo. Si Konaxi is right there as well. This is gonna be a 4v1 situation for Buriram Esports. Si Eddie ngayon. Si Eddie, wow, mga kapatid. Andito na umiikot na. He's the head of that guy. Pero ayaw na talaga tapatan dito, Berting.
Ito paring Bila, mukhang naribay pangata dito si paring Cubs. Pero Buriram United Esports, ladies and gentlemen, Kuya Eddie, this is a disadvantage para sa Buriram dahil dalawa na lang sila natitira ni Konaxi. Here comes the Molly para dito sa ibang miyembro ng kalaban nila. Pero Buriram, AAP, still alive, Momonji, Cubs, and ating CJ18 dito. Wala na si Boss Killa dun sa lineup natin. Pero maganda yung position dito ng AAP dahil wala naman sila masyadong makakalaban dito except for the XS na sila Marcos na sa may bandang right side nila. So CJ18 advancing using the vehicle na meron sila dito. Pero ngayon yung Divine Esports mismo ang nasa gitna ng ating gitna ng dalawang squad, which is the KT, also the Cerberus. Pero Tongkik will fall down sa kamay ni paring Konaxi. Medyo delikado rin yung position dito ng MJ dahil pinush nila mismo yung dalawang miyembro.
Uy, look at the spray down coming from Konaxi. Pero yun nga lang, Konaxi medyo at least, diba, nakadown na isa. Imo mo is now down. Pero Team Star! Oh my God! Annihilating Team MG, mga kaibigan. Ano ang nangyayari sa Team MG? At ito, maganda sa Australia. Ano pa lang, talagang sobrang solid na pinapakita nila dito.
Yung MG kasi, hindi mo alam kung anong ginagawa. Wala na nga sa save zone yung dalawang players. Bakit pa nila ipupush dun sa maliit na bahay? Ano nangyari sa kanila? Naubos sila ng dalawang players ng Buriram. Which is good news sa AAP kasi minus squad. Di ba? Pero kasi kung ikaw yung player nun, hindi mo ipupush yun eh. Hintay mo na lang dun sa ibang angulo. Hintay mo lumabas eh. Sa either i-deny nila yung kills or mag-stay na lang kayo sa save zone. Pero ang ginawa nila, finish na lang nila.
Berting,
at naubos pa sila, di ba?
Diyos ko po, 12 teams alive, mga kaibigan. Uy, harap-harapan, Momonji!
Nagulat!
Momonji, Diyos ko, harap-harapan, nagulat. Yung nakakatakot dito, yung nakascope ka, tapos biglang may sasalubong sa'yo, pero nga CJ8 together with Cubs is all up to them right now. Pero si Cubs, taking down Meow from Team XS dito, pero they want more. They really need to get more for them to get more points. Pero Team Star is leading the way compared to PCS1. Medyo nasa pinakababang place sila, pero ngayon sa PCS2, they're rolling like a thunder. Andito agad sila ngayon
Walang
sa
tutok, walang
top place
tutok.
dito.
Medyo wala pa sa tamang vision dito si CJ18. Medyo hindi tumatama yung mga bala niya ngayon. Archangel Predator. Dalawa na lang yung natitira para dito sa AAP. CJ18 and Cubs. Ngayon kalaban nila walang iba. Sila parang Miyaw, sila Marcos. Here comes the molly mula dito kay Kapitan. Meron siyang beril. Tingnan natin kung anong gagawin niya. Medyo delikado yung position niya dahil open field sila dito at wala silang cover. At hindi rin sila pasok sa bilog. Ngayon CJ18, ano yung gagawin niya? Here comes the flank. Mula dito kay El Capitan. Papasukin ba yung smoke? Naku, hindi niya makita dahil sa sobrang daming smoke. Pero Cubs ngayon, random shot through the smoke. Pero Cubs will fall down. Here comes the spray.
Oh, that
and
is a
CJ18
spray.
is
Oh,
eliminated.
no.
Archangel Predator. Wala silang napatay doon. Sobrang dami rin talaga ng kalaban. Napakandi talaga ng peso ng Archangel Predator doon kung mapapansin mo eh. Pero
Archangel
still,
Predator is now eliminated as well, mga kaibigan. Diyos ko, sobrang solid ng pinapakita ngayon ng team.
3 kills lang, naka 3 kills.
Oo,
Pero
ng Team X's tsaka ng Team Star, knowing na Team X is bagong-bago sila dito sa PCS, and kitang-kita mo at top ko na sila agad ngayon.
Noctan with the spray. Dun sa open field mismo, maganda yung position nila dito dahil they have the high grounds. Dalawang squad ngayon yung nasa baba nila. Pero ang problema ngayon dito nila Marcus, paano sila papasok ng bilog kung may nakaabang na kagad dun sa next circle nila, and open field na mismo yung next circle dito para sa side ng ating stadium. Kung mapapansin mo, maganda rin yung position dito nila Moonsatay.
Pero hindi pa sila talagang babawi talaga dito yung lahat ng players natin, mga kaibigan. And now 8 teams alive, 24 alive, 25 minutes on the clock right now, and paliit na ng paliit yung bilog natin, mga kaibigan. And now we are watching Zigo 1 trying to get the spray. Pero nga medyo malaki ang problema dito because nasa baba siya no? Pero at least X Stadium, nakuha nila yung high ground. They got the advantage. They got everything for them to win this. Pero let's see if they can capitalize that. Pero Marcus trying to do a spray. The spray na dito kay Zigo. Pero at least buhay pa siya. And ang problema kasi dalawa na lang natitira sa CS ngayon. Si Subang, Diyos ko, tira mo si Subang, nagtatago talaga sa may gate.
Lahat ng bala, sinalo dito ni Zego. Pero to, Subang, ang dating basketball player, ngayon naging PUBG player na. Siya na ang huling miyembro para sa Cerberus Esports. Pero kung mapapansin nyo guys, the X Stadium, the X-Force, wala sila sa wisyo. Dahil open field sila dito, paring Bill. Hindi pa sila pasok sa bilog. Pero kita mo naman yung M24 dito ni paring Mew. Killing Extreme. Naki-S pa niya.
Pero at least diba babawi pa rin yan. 8
pasok pala sila bilog.
Left.
Pero next circle dito, hindi yata sila papasok. Pero Mew with the M24 again. Knocking down Joksy na headshot. Times 4 scope. Iba. Grabe naman yun. Mini 14. Paring Bill. Ito na yung sinasabi natin disadvantage ng ng X-Stage. Even though na they have the high grounds, yung circle din, paano sila bababa dun sa ganyang katarik na bundok?
Na
hindi sila mababaril.
Oo. Pero that's gonna be a huge
pasok pa rin
thing sa kanila to.
Hindi pala. Hindi pa sila pasok.
Uy, Style G taking down Ngoktan and more points for Team KT ngayon. Actually maganda dito kasi we are seeing new teams ngayon sa top ng natin.
Pero yung mga
leaderboards natin.
Players din naman yan, yung mga bagong lumari naman. Nag-iba lang talaga yung lineup, pero still nakikita natin kung paano mag-blend yung mga bagong roster, 'di ba? Pero ito na, the Divine Esports.
Diyos ko po, ang may advantage talaga dito is yung nasa high ground talaga, mga kapatid.
Pero hindi sila pasok sa bilog, Bill eh. Yun nga yung problema nila eh. They have the high grounds pero hindi naman sila pasok sa bilog. At ang problema pa nila dito, yung next circle na pupunta nila, occupied na mismo ng ibang squad at open field yun Pero to, si Parang Meow versus Red, the spray mula sa kanya, pero lang gamit na dito
grabe naman spray yun ang pinapakita.
Meow with the low HP, naku, kinakain niya siya ng pilog.
Diyos ko naman, look at that headshot coming from Dian.
Hindi pa tapos, paring Bill, paring si Jan, bakit ka nandyan? At mamamatay siya doon.
Ang ganda nung nangyari na yun, kapatid. Pero at least, di ba, sobrang sayang because X-Stadium is now dead, which is the top team ngayon sa ating leaderboards, mga kaibigan. And now, 5 teams left here in this game right now. 12 players alive. And mukhang delikado ngayon ang Team Divine Esports because dalawa na lang ang titira sa kanila though. But Team DXG with 3 men inside their pockets. Let's see what will happen the next few seconds of the round, ladies and gentlemen. And now, we have Team Divine Esports.
4 na lang ang natitira, Faring Bill. Divine Esports, DXG, Star, at Team KT. Kung mapapansin nyo, 3 sa KT, 3 sa DXG at tag-2 sa Star. Also sa Divine Esports. Sino ang mananalo dito? Pero kung mapapansin nyo, mga kaibigan, the Astra, they have a 6 kill in total. Sila yung ating pangalawa. No, actually, pantay-pantay lang pala yung score natin. 3 squads ang nakakuha ng 10 kills. Samantalang ang KT ngayon dito, siya 9 kills kagad in game number 1. Sobrang init ng laban natin, mga kaibigan. Here comes the smoke mula dito sa ibang miyembro ng Astra. Jan will fall down. Sa side dito ng Divine Esports. Kaya bang i-revive dito ni paring Turtle? I think he can't revive his falling comrade. And there you go, Divine Esports. Isa na lang yun. Actually, eliminated na sila.
And now this is it. 3 na lang. We have 3 from DXG, 2 from Star, and 3 from Team KT.
Grabe mag-bolt
Let's see
action
naman
mga
kung
to.
anong mangyayari dito. Kaiser 2 na ang Team KT, mga kaibigan.
Last circle to, ha?
Last circle na to, mga kapatid. Let's see kung sino ba magkakakitaan.
Ito na.
Maganda yung placement ng Team DXG dito. Kalat-kalat
Eto na.
sila.
Eto na
More
sila.
information for them though.
Oops. Here comes the molly, the flash. Dito sa ibang squad natin, pero Zoid trying to plank. Bakit ka tumatanong? Paring Lixie na
Look at
spray
that.
mula dito kay Munsa and Astra. Wala na sila sa ating game. NBK, Division X Gaming. 2 squad na lang na natitira sa ating mga kaibigan. This will be a 3v3 situation. KT, patay dito yung ibang miyembro ng Stars. Ngayon ng NBK. Here comes the spray using the AKM. Paring Phil, medyo delikado rin yung position dito ng ating KT.
Pero si Longkey, mga
isa na lang yung
kaibigan.
natitira.
Diyos ko, si Longkey ang sagot sa katanungan. Pero yun nga lang, Team DXG, Division X Gaming from Vietnam, mga kaibigan.
11 kills.
11, actually from Division X Gaming, they're like super duper new at this PCS2. Pero at least, di ba, they gave us that power na pinapakita ng mga kaibigan. Look at that. Team
iba.
DXG, mga
Mga ang kikinis na mukha.
mga makikinis
Ito
sa
kasi
mukha,
kuya
mga
hati,
pogi,
May hati. Hindi, sa monitor yan. Joke na. Saan yan? Sa screen yan. Sa screen. Easy lang kayo.
And for Team Divine X Gaming, tuloy nga sinasabi ko kanina, Perting, Divine X Gaming, they're like super new at this game and they conquered everything, taking down the top teams na kasali ng PCS1, and I'm really excited on what's gonna happen sa mga susunod nating mapa if they can retain everything kung anong meron sila ngayon.
Ito guys, kung mapapansin nyo, Divine X Gaming, ano ba yung napansin ko dito sa squad na to? May napansin ako sa kanila, hindi sila yung squad sa gumagamit ng berry, lahat sila naka-AKM. Dahil ang meta kasi ngayon sa PUBG, guys, kung mapapansin nyo, lahat naka-barrel, diba? Dahil mas malakas yung ano. Etong squad na to, naka-AKM, naka-AKM.
Yun nga eh. Actually,
meta, mas gusto nila ang AKM kaysa dun sa barrel.
Actually, ang talagang meta ngayon talaga is mga beril, mga ganon. Pero ngayon, ano sila eh, El Clasico sila eh. El Clasico.
Panlaban sa Carpal. Pero to, mga kaibigan ng ating highlights, pati airplano, nasa highlights yan. Ito yung unang-unang pagkakamali dito ng player natin. Yung masyadong overextended si Nuwaldra. Pero also, yung ating Divine Esports dito, killing all the member of from the future. Sila yung unang squad na nakakuha ng ating squad wipe na nakita natin dito sa ating screen. From the future, Archangel Momonji. Ito yung medyo pumatatas pa si Momonji dito.
Pero
wala pa si sa Wisho yung
yan
Archangel.
Yan din yung napitas din ng AAP, mga kapatid. Pero yun nga lang, tinry talaga ng AAP getting that 10th place.
At least they have 3 kills. Pero kasi ang dito paring bilin sa mga nanonood dyan, this is just a game number 1. So basically, yung mga squads na, yung mga players natin, especially the Archangel Predator, kumbaga sa sinigang, pinapainit pa.
Kalma lang kayo. Nagpapakiramdaman pa lang yan.
Alam nyo ang sinigang, masarap yan pag mainit eh. Hindi yan pwedeng malamig, di ba? Parang ganun lang ang Archangel Predator. But still, di ba, congratulations dito sa ating DXG for getting the chicken dinner with 11 kills. Napakagandang start yan para sa squads nila.
And yes, congratulations for Team DXG for getting that first chicken dinner, ladies and gentlemen. And we really can't wait for the next one. Look at that. This is the match leaderboard as of now.
May nagsabi sa akin si
8 place ang AAP.
8th place ang Archangel. May nagano'n sa shoutouts nga pala kay Pagi Joe na dating PUBG player din yan. Sabi din niya, ang Division X Gaming matagal na din pala yung competitive na squads, diba? So basically may mga ano na rin talaga sila potential players na nakita natin nakuha sila ng chicken dinner, and sana magtuloy-tuloy yung ganyang laro nila para gumanda yung teams nila dito sa tournament natin dahil hindi natin alam di ba?
Siyempre, sana mas maganda ang laro ng AAP. Oo naman.
Siyempre naman. Ako alam mo naman ako, talagang gusto ko sinusuportahan ko naman lahat, pero mas lamang lang sa Philippines.
Yes, and that's it for the first game of our PUBG Continental Series number 2 for the Asia Pacific region. After the break, it's gonna be Miramar again, mga kaibigan. Once again, my name is Phil, alongside with me is Berting, and see you later. are back, ladies and gentlemen, mga kaibigan, and you're watching the PUBG Continental Series number 2 very guys for today. My name is Fred, alongside with me is my friend, ang pinaka-poging berting magiting mga kaibigan. We've just seen our first map. DXG won that Miramar map, and next game, this is Miramar again as well. And I really can't wait for this kasi this is the time as well na nakapag-adjust na rin yung mga teams natin. They've seen all these teams play, they've seen all the rotation, and this is the time that they're gonna apply everything that they learned about that map. And before anything else mga kaibigan, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We have PUBG Craft and Game Union, we have Predator Gaming, and syempre our production Spawn Point. Ikaw Bertie, what can you say about that last map?
Sa game number 1 nakita natin yung syempre painit ng mga players natin dahil di pa rin nila alam yung takbo ng laro, magiging takbo ng laro dahil yung rotation as well, tsaka yung circle din talagang pumanig dun sa DXG. So basically,
meron silang high ground, lahat ng advantage nasa kanila.
They have the advantage dun mismo sa also the manpower dahil apat pa sila mismo dun sa
RNG na lang talaga, no?
Yung manpower din talaga. Kompleto pa sila yung abang ibang teams tumatakbo sa open field na kulang-kulang, especially including the Archangel Predator, 'di ba? Nakita natin na ang dami nilang kalaban doon sa may bandang high grounds natin, and isa-isa silang namamatay, 'di ba? Pero still ibang story na to dahil this is the game number 2. So basically yung mga teams natin medyo nakapag-warm up na dahil hindi sapat yung scrims hindi sapat yung scrims natin. So basically tingnan na etong game number na to pwede maging game changer para dun sa ibang squad. Sana makaabot.
Makakaabot yan sigurado mga kaibigan. Siyempre hindi naman sila magpapahuli. Siyempre Continental Series. So this is the best of all the teams around the Asia Pacific region. Ulitin ko, maraming mga countries dito. We have Thailand, Vietnam,
Australia,
MYSG, Australia,
Philippines.
ID, Indonesia, Philippines as well. Siguro we have like seven countries na nandito ngayon, and
at
sana
isa lang yung Pilipinas.
Isa lang ang Pilipinas. Actually, ito yung malupit. Pilipinas na talaga isang slot.
Philippine number 1.
Oo.
Mag-isang, literal
Diyos
na
ko.
Philippine number 1 kasi mag-isa lang talaga
Oo nga, tayo, sa lahat ng mga bansa dito mga kaibigan, Pilipinas lang ang mag-isa.
Alam mo ito, ano mo nakapagtaka dito, ibang-iba yung gameplay ng nung South, nung sa South, yung ibang-iba yung gameplay ng Pilipinas dun sa ibang tournament. Kasi pag sinabi mong Philippine tournament,
Bakbakan
talagang diyan mo makikita yung mga asal demonyo, yung tipong wala kinakatakutan.
Wala kinakatakutan yung mga yun
Pero nakakuha ko ng onting insight ang pinaka delikado daw na country ngayon pagdating sa PUBG is yung mga Chinese.
Yung mga Chinese
team
talaga.
China. Kasi daw yung team
nasa Asia.
Kasi yung team China daw, yun daw talaga yung parang sumasamba daw talaga sa demonyo. Pag may nakita daw talaga tao sa isang compound, talaga daw kinakrush talaga nila. Wala daw katakot-takot.
Pero
but still, sana makakita tayo ngayon. Sana makakita tayo ng mga ganun. Yung parang binenta na yung kalahati ng kaluluwa sa demonyo. Nung tipong talaga kinakrush na kahit mag-isa lang siya.
Sana actually mga gusto ko talagang i-cast. Kung hindi Asia Pacific region, actually EU.
EU, no? Yung mga EU.
Andun yung Navi, andun ang TSM, andun ang ENS. Easy for
ENS. Do that. Ano yun Counter-Strike? Sa Counter-Strike yun
pero at least, diba, I really can't wait for this map to this the best of the best sa mga dito, sa mga players natin, and syempre sa mga countries na nandito as well. And yun nga mga kaibigan, thank you sa mga patunood, and syempre huwag niyong kakalimutan na talagang nasamahan kami dito na isigaw ang pangalan ng EAP.
Pilipinas. Kumbaga guys, itaas nyo yung mga kamay nyo para kumbaga sigaw binibigyan ng mga sibilyan nung
itaas nyo lang yung kamay nyo para antayin nyo yung 100% niya mga kaibigan. All you have to do lang talaga is give support sa ating team, which is AAP. One map is now down. We need 3 more, which is 1 Miramar and 2 Erangel dito. Actually Berting, sa totoo lang medyo matagal yung ngayon. Medyo matagal yung match ngayon.
Dahil nagkaroon tayo ng onting relabi.
Hindi actually.
Yung match 30 minutes.
Pumalo tayo ng 30 minutes.
30 minutes usually kasi mga 27, 28, 29. So yun yung mga
30?
natin
Tagal nito
Tsaka maganda dito, phase number 3 yata nagkaroon na ng yung
Bakbakan.
talagang talagang shootout talaga.
Pero
na
yun nga lang, hindi
crossfire,
pa talaga sila
tinatawag natin.
nagkakapatayan since mga
Phase
phase
number
5.
2, yes.
5 talaga sila nagkakabakbakan dito mga kaibigan. And,
Kasi sobrang liit na rin talaga ng bilog natin dahil nga doon sa ating settings din na tinatawag na parang esport settings na yun meron talaga silang specific na rules na sinusundan. So basically kung mapapansin nyo guys, phase number 2 bakit sobrang liit kagad ng bilog dahil yun sa latest update natin. And tsaka may nag-comment din kaya daw para puro AKM si yung nag-gigan din kasi taga Vietnam daw.
Taga-Vietnam.
Taga-Vietnam. Make sense naman. Sana taga-Russia yun eh. No, sobrang kasi AKM.
Tapos AK, tapos sa kabila may dalang vodka. Pero at least 'di ba sobrang enjoy lang talaga. Enjoy
Enjoy lang. Take note guys, game number 1, marami pang pwedeng mangyari.
Meron pa tayong
alam niyo
tatlo.
ba ito ako na nagsasabi kaya tayo natalo nung game number 1 dahil namatay si Boss Kila.
Nagpakiramdaman lang yung mga
Si Boss Kila kasi alam niyo si Boss Kila, hindi pa mainit ang tarima. Kumbaga nga sa oven toaster. 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 Sorry. Toaster. Kumbaga sa oven toaster, pinapainit muna. Hindi naman pagkapindot niya mainit. Siyempre,
agad.
pinagbabaga muna.
May proseso.
May proseso. Indeed.
Ano yan? #trust the process.
Trust the process.
tayo,
Parang
mga
lang yan.
kapatid.
Parang mga karir nyo.
Oo.
Parang lang yan, nasa school. Trust the process ko.
Trust the process lang.
Gaano kagaling naman.
Wag bakbakan agad. Tutulad nga na sinabi mo kanina, mas masarap ang sinigang pag
Mainit. Tama.
Mas masarap ang tinapay pag
May kape. May palaman.
mainit pa rin.
Mainit. Tama. Masarap ang adobo pag may toyo. Tandaan niya. Pag wala, hindi
adobo
yan.
yun.
Hindi sinigang
adobo
yan.
Sinigang yan.
yan.
Dalawa lang ang luto ng baboy.
Sinigang tsaka adobo.
Adobo.
Lagi nyo tatandaan yan.
Lagi nang tatandaan yung mga kapatid. And again, to all the people who's watching right now, big shout out to all of you guys. If you are watching the PUBG Continental Series 2 for the Asia Pacific region, ladies and gentlemen, and we've seen again all these amazing teams na talagang sobrang puso ang binibigay nila dito. Tulad nga sinabi mo, Berting, huli na talaga to eh. Like, they had their mga series nila sa bansa-bansa nila and sila rin actually yung yung mga nakapasok. And
may mga bago.
May mga bago pero konti lang mga bilang wala pa mga 3 lang ata yung bago eh.
Yung ibang teams diyan hindi naman bago yun eh. Talagang
bagong luma
lang din.
Mali yun, iba nagpalit na ng IG and mali nyo, di ba?
Change IGN as well. Pero still guys, sa mga nanonood diyan, please do support the Philippine representative dito mismo sa Continental Series 2 natin, which is the Archangel Predator. Also sa mga may mga voting diyan sa PUBG client natin, support boto nyo syempre yung Archangel Predator. Syempre may mga ibang teams din diyan
pag nanalo kayo, di ba?
May points yun, may points
diba?
yun. Ayun guys, nakikita nyo yung loading. Meron ako niyan. Shoutouts nga pala kay PUBG dahil
Pre, meron din ako niyan.
Binigyan ako ng
shoutouts nga din pala kay PUBG.
Maraming salamat po sa pagbigay ng codes na yan. Dahil,
ako,
ano pala yan, pre? Ang nakakuha lang nun, yung Archangel Predator, dahil sila lang yung nag-champion.
Tapos meron tayo nun.
Parang player Para kaming player.
Diyos ko, alam mo, pag ako nagkanak, alam mo ano pangalan?
PUBG.
Alex.
Alex. Kala ko PUBG. Pero ito na, ladies and gentlemen, the game number 2 para dito sa ating Continental Series 2. And yung ating mapa ay papunta sa bandang La Bendita. Nasaan ang Archangel Predator. Unang bumaba mismo dito yung ibang miyembro ng Divine Esports. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, Cerberus as well, going to La Bendita. And yung ibang players dito, yung Fury na sa Los Leones, same spot yung ginawa nila. Archangel Predator, CJ, bumaba na rin. Momonji as well, mukhang pupunta sila sa Cruz del Val.
Ito na, Cruz del Val. Mukhang, actually, this is the time. Oo nga, kung napapansin mo, ang AAP, saan papunta? Dun sa may pataas. Which is, dun lagi sila eh. Like, all the time, nandito sila, na nagkalaro sila ng Miramar mga patid. Dun lagi sila sa may top area. And,
para kasi less hassle, less casualties din talaga. Kasi
maganda rin ang rotation mo pag nasa may taas ka kasi. Sobrang laki ng puzzle. Sobrang pagkaganda ng laki ng possibilities ng makakuha ng sobrang daming loot and sobrang konting tao if dito sa may taas ka, which is kung nasa ng AAP ngayon, that is their favorite spot. And as you can see, CJ18 mga kaibigan doing all their strats again with a 3-1 split. CJ18 sobrang layo na naman mo ma-spot out dito si Konaxi, pero hopefully hindi sila makita dito. And yung mga nasa taas mga kapatid, meron tayong nakikitang code. Bagong code yan!
Bagong code yan guys. So kung ako sa inyo kunin nyo na po yan. Guys, napansin nyo ba yung parachute? Hindi siya nawala. Nandun lang siya sa daan. Sobrang detail. Sobrang details ng PUBG ngayon. Pero to Division X Gaming, they are the current top 1.
NBK, meron akong kilalang NBK.
And getting the previous chicken dinner dito sa tournament natin. They have 21 points in total dito sa game number 2. Pero still, pwede pa magdagdagan yung points nila dahil we still in the start phase ng ating galo. Phase number 1 pa lang to, rotation phase, looting phase. Ano yung gagawin mismo dito ng Division X Gaming dahil sila yung nakakuha ng chicken dinner ng previous round. Pwede silang, we can say na they have the momentum as well dito sa tournament na to.
They have the momentum. It's really
si Sapaw, si Sapaw.
Kung paano nila i-maintain tong momentum na to, nasa sa kanila na lang talaga yun. Mahirap actually, pero if nakuha nila na yung momentum, if nakuha nila yung mga first kills, maganda yung rotation nila, everything will go smooth for sure.
Indeed. Pero to, Sapaw sa side ng Division X Gaming, they have a bagay. I think mag-rotate, maglulot lang syempre dito sa Crater Fields natin, which is isa sa mga lugar kung saan sobrang open field dahil farm site yun Long K?
Yun sila Long K.
Fergus.
The other DXG players right there as well.
Lower sila, upper left side sila ng mapa natin and yung circle natin nasa gitna mismo ng Pecado, so sobrang swerte nung ibang squads na pasok dun sa bilog dahil hindi sila mamumblema and pwede na kagad sila makapag-occupied ng mga bahay na pwede nilang gawing last resort.
Actually, Bertie, kung napapansin nyo, diba? Parang ang bilis ng bilog no? Compared sa talagang normal game, talaga mabilis talaga yung bilog. Kasi
settings din talaga
tournament settings kasi to. Like, ito talaga yung standard globally, mga kapatid.
Plata o delata ba yung nakalagay doon?
Tsaka kung nakikita nyo, praktisado talaga dito ang AAP because nagdaan sila sa isang 50
laro.
50
matches.
Na loob, Diyos ko.
Yung 50 matches na ngayon, nagkaroon pa nga ng disaster yun Di ba? Yung mga players, kung bumangga-bangga, gumulong-gulong, di ba? Ang dami nangyari sa 50 matches na yon. Hindi pwedeng wala kayong
bumangga-bangga, gumulong-gulong, sumabit-sabit sa mga tangke.
May na-stack, may dumapalang, di ba? May lumangoy, ano ba yun? Di ba? Syempre, sa 50 matches na yun, meron kang hindi makakalimutan doon, guys. Alam nyo na kung sino yun. Shoutouts ka pala kaya Mr. Jowie ng PUBG scene. One of the veteran player dito sa Pilipinas.
Yan si Tropang Jowie. Ang secret technique ni Jowie, Prone.
Si Prone Gaming. Shoutout din pala sila Hipster din. Sila Lance, mga players ng PUBG. Sa mga nanonood dyan, guys, share nyo na yung stream.
Kung napapansin mo dito, si Basil Valdez at si God New ang magkatapat dito, and now God New trying to push in dito sa may compound kung nasan si Basil dito, pero yun nga lang, si Basil meron siyang sniper dito, and ang tanong pa, meron ba siyang scope? Can he spot out God New agad? Pero I think not kasi Basil will just try na back
Alam mo, si Kuya Basil medyo delikado, pero sabi dito ni Subang dahil dati akong basketball player, alam ko yung mga ganyan disadvantage. Kumbaga sa basketball, sabi dito ni Subang, kailangan mo ng screen. Pero ngayon si Basil kasi Kuya Bill, hindi lang kasi basketball to, bari lang to. Si Basil walang kaalam-alam na nandito yung isang miyembro ng Game Home.
Actually parang nararamdaman niya. Kaya siya scope dun sa side kung nasan si God New dito, pero at least, di ba, we are seeing Katie right now getting that high ground agad. Ang bilis.
Galing.
Kinuha agad nila, sinecure agad nila.
Los Leones to kung di ako nagkakamali. Itong sino to?
Si Botbas, pre.
Si Botbas.
Malungkot si Botbas.
Sorry guys, sorry.
Malungkot si Botbas, mga kaibigan.
Sorry, parang hindi yata parang yung picture niya, hindi siya ready.
Oo, parang nag-break sila ng jowa niya.
Parang hindi siya ready nung pinicture siya. Pero alam mo yung mga PUBG player, iba talaga yung mga sense na ito. Biruin mo, kanina pa si Basil dito hindi siya mapakali. Ay, binabaril niya.
Ang layo pero hindi niya alam na meron tao doon right below him.
Bolt action gaming mula kay Basil. Wala na yung binaril niya dito dahil binaril niya, syempre tatakbo yun, matik na matik yun.
M24 pa naman yan,
ang
masakit
ano dito
yan,
ni Basil, hindi siya umaalis, no? Talagang naghihintay siya ng circle dito.
God knew there with the patience coming from him.
The prone mula kay God, talaga naghihintay siya kung kakainin ba yung bait na ginawa dito ni Ganyo, pero Basil still not advancing dun sa location ni paring Ganyo. Samantalang ibang miyembro ng base, si paring Lokis, nagro-rotate na rin dito sa may bandang El Al-Zahar.
Yun sila Sofia, CC6 dito, mga kapatid, dito rin ng Team B as well. Pero worth it ba yung rotation na gagawin nila knowing na sa may outskirts sila ng mapa natin, mga kapatid?
Early rotation to para sa Team Bay. Ito yung team ni hindi to team ni Alden Richard guys Yan yung niya. Pero to, Archangel Predator, pinakita rin sa ating camera dito dahil Calbs using the buggy. Malapit siya sa may bandang hacienda, kung di ako nagkakamali. Yung MG as well is malapit din dito. Archangel Kira, ang unang namatay
mainit
dito sa
tarima.
game number 1 natin. Tingnan natin kung mainit na ba ang tarima dito ni Boss Kila. Meron siyang SKS dito, mga kaibigan, at ngayon ino-occupy na ng ibang miyembro ng Archangel Predator ang paligid ng ating hacienda del Patron. Samantalang si Cubs, naku po, ito ang tatandaan nyo guys. Sa lahat ng tournament ng Archangel Predator, si Cubs ang unang namamatay. Tignan natin kung tama ba ang propesiya.
Pero medyo magkakaroon ng problema dito si Calvin kasi pwede siya papagitnaan ng MG eh. Kasi we have Tonky right there and sila Boshi andito lang din sa may gilid. So let's see if ano bang gagawing sagot ni Calvs dito sa pwedeng mangyari dito sa matchup ito, ladies and gentlemen. Pero yun nga,
maganda nga pala ang tagline ng Archangel Predator. Paring Bill, hindi lang Leopard Archangel yan. Yung rin pala, summon your strength. Ng Predator,
diba? Summon your strength. Let's see if we can see the summoning of the strength of
Predator,
of Archangel Predator dito. Let's see if they can be the
top apex Predator.
The strongest and
mightiest
mightiest
Predator. Lahat adjectives.
Mag-isip na tayo, pero at least let's see if they can unleash the beast.
Unleash the beast. Monster. Energy drink. Parang commercial commercial yun
Uy,
nagbunga! Oh my God! Nagbunga!
Ko!
Kakahintay niya doon! Basil Valdez is down! God view!
Ang tagal niyang
nakadapa doon!
Ang tagal niya nakadapa doon, mga more than 5 minutes!
Kanina pa siya nakadapa doon. Nilalamok na nga yun eh!
Diyos ko, mga 5 minutes, 7 minutes ata siyang nakadapa
doon.
Finally, pero yun
oh
nga lang.
Oh my God!
Marcus! Meow! Taking down Turtle. Basil is now down as well. Napatay ni something else dito ng Team GH, pero Marcus trying to get one more. He's just inside that house. Pero mukhang
na lang, bakit ka na dyan?
Dito.
Oh my! The spray mula dito sa ibang miyembro ng Divine Esports. Pero
sobrang
Divine
bilis.
Esports, una pa sa first, early pa sa bird. Patay kagad silang apat dito na AUG ni Miyu.
Ang bilis ng pangyayari dito, kapatid. Actually, ang Divine Esports, isa yan sa pinaka-top team natin nung game 1 natin, sa match 1 natin. Actually, sila yung pinakaunang nakaubos sa isang squad. Pero bumalik sa kanila yung ginawa nila kanina. Sila naman na naubos ngayon.
Sila naman ngayon ang naubos. Grabe naman yun. Na AUG sila sa bilog. Pero ang pinakamaganda nangyari dito, paring Bill, si Basil nagbunga yung kakantay ni God. Namatay si Basil Valdez doon, Kuya Bill.
Pero yun,
ay Saki, frag grenade.
Tamang
luto
luto lang.
Granada nga po.
Uy. More than 50% HP ang natanggal dito kay Haisaki. Naalala mo yung
Oo, si Aisha.
Naalala mo yung pinagbabato ng bomba? 3 bomba.
Oo, alam, ay, si ano yun eh. Si Bahamut Gaming yun eh.
Tapos squad wipe tayo.
Sa Miramar, Air Angle map yun. Air Angle map yun eh.
Pero yung nga, we are watching Haisaki right there getting tagged. Nice one! Ang pinakita ni Nowarda dito mga kapatid.
Bigil.
Oo nga.
Ay no.
Taking down, killing that guy na nasa loob ng kotse.
Nauna pa yung kotse kaysa dun sa driver. Grabe naman yun. Pero ito guys medyo mainit na. Sabi ko sa inyo yung game number 1 is just like a test the water para malaman nyo
nagpapakiramdaman lang
paano
sila dito.
ba mag-rotate yung mga players natin. Pero this game number 2, kung mapapansin nyo guys, nagkakaroon kagad tayo ng early engagement. Phase number 1, ang dami, may mga namamatay na. 58 players alive na nga lang kagad tayo dito in this phase number 2.
Ang bilis
Hindi lang yan,
actually,
marami pa pwedeng mangyari. Meron na nga isang squad na nawala kagad, di ba?
Sobrang dami pang pwedeng mangyari dito, pero hindi pa tapos ang saya dito. 58 alive, 15 teams left, and for team DXG, they need to do everything for them to get that momentum up because they got the first chicken dinner. They have the advantage now, and it's really up to them on how will they retain everything that they have and how will they sustain the momentum that they have. Pero yun nga lang, for sure 100% hindi naman nahahayaan yan ng mga iba't ibang teams. As much as possible, they will take down DXG right off the bat. Pero with that next safe zone mga kapatid, AAP is in a good situation right now because they're really trying to get that safe zone na nandun lang sila sa may gitna o gilid. Pero
grabe
look at
yung
that.
star, no?
Oy,
Pekado.
pero kung nakikita nyo, Team AAP
lahat
ngayon mga
pupunta
kapatid,
ng
si
Pekado.
Kila,
Oy,
tsaka
grabe
si Kila
naman.
Monji, mukhang magkakakitaan natin dito sa Sapaw. Binabaril na si Sapaw mga kapatid, pero yun nga lang medyo hindi natin nakita dahil sa director.
Hindi, ang inano dito kuya, parang lahat ng squad pupunta ng Pekado. Ngayon apat na squad na.
Ito yung
nasa
maganda.
Pekado, ito na.
Ito ang maganda sa Pekado.
Ginawa
dito
ng
lagi
Warzone.
may bakbakan mga
Ginawa
kapatid.
ng Warzone ng Pekado dito mga kaibigan sa batalag ng MSC. Here comes the spray mula kay
Sapaw!
Sapaw. Patay kagad ang isa, si Rosited Jr. ang na-knockdown for the side ng MSC. Pero Sapaw ngayon, medyo delikado ang buhay niya dahil...
Si Yoshimon Buri.
Oy, Yoshimon Buri.
Sapaw already knows there's someone right there above him though. Let's see if kaya ba niya parilin to. Pero Yoshimon Buri from the second floor. Pero yung alam mala FPJ yung kalawan. Tumalon ang kuya mo.
Tumalon, nakala mo bagong taon. Archangel Predator, kalaban nila ibang membro dito ng MSC. Si paring Jackal, ano ang ginagawa mo? El Capitan, meron siya molly. Here comes the spray, hindi niya makita yung kalaban niya dahil nasa pater. Pero ito yung may membro, si paring Jaku. 2-0 up, pero meron siya baril. Kila, Bumonji will fall down.
Sinabi mo kanina.
Si Jaku. Kala ko, Janko pala, Janko. Alam mo naman tayo, medyo mabilis tayo magsalita. Pero maganda kasi dito, pare, tama na yung kakatabo. Nakadown ng Archangel Predator, pero si Momonji nakadown din.
Pero let's see if makakabawi ba dito ang Archangel Predator mga kapatid. And Cubs trying to guard his teammate para ma-revive niya though. And yun nga, tamang revive pero that is a flash coming from Team MSC Thina to. Pero si Jankut off there, nire-revive lang mga kapatid. Pero
nagre-revive lang.
Nagre-revive
Delikadong
sila dito.
AAP, paring Bill, dahil na unang mag-revive dito si paring Janku.
Hindi makakabawi agad yan. They were just gonna back off for sure.
Ako po yung cameraman natin napunta dito sa previous chicken dinner team natin na nakakuha. Pero Buriram United Esports mga kaibigan, nasa may bandang graveyard sila dito. And mukhang delikado rin ang ibang miyembro ng XS dahil makakasalubong nila ang ating MG. And tingnan natin kung paano mag-rotate ang squad na to.
And now we are watching Team MG right now and this is the push coming from XS. Pero problema nga na naka-first na Magic Esports. Zonkey with the kill. Sulabi with the kill as well. And that's a kill confirmed coming out of Team MG. But Zonkey trying to get more. Pero yun nga lang, pati kakampi niya.
Oh my God, Zonkey. Grabe naman yun. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, yung mga crush na nakasanla na yung kaluluwa eh. Kita mo yun, kinarush niya yun na walang pasintabi. Talagang galit na galit siya, pero Archangel, El Capitan, CJ18 getting a kill. sa side dito ng MSC. Pero yung ating camera nasa walang iba kundi nandito sa X Stadium. Medyo delikado sila dito.
Next Stadium, 1 man remaining nila sa Singok na nakatara. Nakapatay pa. Si Boshi is now dead using that molly all the way from Ngokta. And he is the only man remaining for Team XS mga kapatid. And now Magic Esports though, dalawa na lang yung natitira sa kanila. But sobrang bilis ng match natin ngayon. Sobrang init ng mga matches natin ngayon.
16 minutes into the game, paring Cubs, paring Red, pumasok na dito sa ating bahay. Kailangan niya syempre ng buhay dito. You have the level 3 vest, level 2 helmet. Meron siyang bolt action na kasama which is the Car98. Ngayon, delikado yung isang miyembro dito ng MSC. Cubs ngayon ang nangunguna. Wala na naman si Boss Killa. Patay na naman dito si Boss Killa. Hindi na talaga mainit ang tarima niya. Ngayon si Janku, the last member of MSC, tumalon dito sa bahay na makala mo Cesar Montano. Akala mo Robin Padilla.
With the kill.
Patay ka. Ganun, layo ni ano dun
Oo, pero yung nga spray and pray, and the pray really worked for Team AAP right now. But they need to get more. As you can see, lima ang score nila. Pero mukhang delikado ata sila kasi DXG with 23 points na ngayon, kapatid.
Parang ano no? Medyo may...
Punong-puno pa sila.
Ang maganda dito, parang Bilin dito katulad ng game number 1 na tumagal pag game number, phase number 5 pa tayo nagka-backbackan. Ito, phase number 2 pa lang, nakita mo talagang may patayan nagkaubusan na talaga ng lahi
Oo.
At sobrang liit na rin talaga ng bilog natin. Mukhang ang last circle lata natin mapupunta sa may bandang lower ng ating Pekado, which is maganda yung mga squads na nandun na mismo sa Pekado dahil wala na silang problema pagdating sa bilog. Kailangan na lang ng konting adjustment.
Yes, indeed. And yan, dito na si Mr. Eddie Wow ng Buriram United Esports dito trying to spot out one. Pero at least, diba, ang kailangan lang talaga nila is yung information kung nasan ba yung mga kalaban nila. Pero now, Eddie trying to pick off one pero missing all those shots. Tongke really trying to stay alive dito pero he is getting tagged. Pero is that enough?
Sulabi. Namatay yung backride dito ni Tongke.
Oo, si Tongke. At least, he's getting fried up. Pero
grabe
Tongke,
naman to. Si Ghost Rider, kinarush yung gasolinahan. Tongke, the last member of Magic Esports. Grabe yun walang katakot-takot.
Oo nga ang ginawa na press W and pray.
Press W. Ngoktan din, last member na rin to ng X Stadium. At etong X Stadium, sobrang malaking kawalan yun dahil...
Kung nakikita mo, PCS2 champion prediction, nangunguna ang Buriram Esports.
Buriram?
Actually, ang Buriram Esports kasi kilala din naman talaga yan na sobrang solid talaga na PUBG team. And sobrang taas ng placements nila nung PCS1. Pero 7th ang Team AAP.
AAP, pang 7 lang, 3 points lang ang ano lang nila. 3 points pa lang kasi sila dito sa tournament natin and wala pa masyadong nangyayari dito yung AAP. Pero nagkaroon na rin naman sila ng early engagement pero nagkaroon din na sila ng early casualties dahil namatay nga kagad dito si Boss Killa. Pero ang problema ngayon dito paring Bill ng AAP, malayo sila sa bilog and kailangan nila umadvance sa next circle natin. And hindi lang yun yung problema dahil ang daming squads na pwedeng makalaban ng Archangel Predator.
Pero hindi pa naman sila babawi dito. I mean, hindi pa sila magpapatalo dito. Pero yun nga lang, ang problema ngayon ng Team AAP is nasa labas ata sila ng safe zone. Medyo dinidikitad lang nila yung blue zone dito, kapatid. Pero meanwhile, here in Pekado, mga kaibigan, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 teams. 6 to 7 squads na nandito ngayon sa Pekado, mga kaibigan. Pero yun nga lang, si Eddie trying to pick off someone there behind that ridge. Pero mukhang hindi pa talaga sila magkakitaan and he's gonna back off again. Pero yun, Godmia is right there as well. Delikado ngayon team CES ngayon kasi tatlong teams ang bumabaril sa kanila dito. We have Buriram United Esports. Meron din yung iba. Pero for sure, makakabawi pa naman sila if they're gonna back out. Pero yun nga na, Norians there. Anong ginagawa mo? Muntik na pumasok yung vehicle, mga kapatid. Pero Fergus with a spray! Hindi nakita yung isa. Pero makakabawi ba? Fergus is now down. Norians killing Fergus. Siya na nga yung nag-push. Siya pa yung namatay.
Grabe to si Paring Flash. Hindi siya matamaan. Antindi niya naman doon. Tatlong player yung gusto siyang barilin pero buhay pa rin.
Siyempre, pangalan pa lang The Flash.
Si Paring Flash. Si anong pangalan? Allen pangalan?
Iverson.
Barry Allen. Si Barry! Momonji is
Oy,
down.
Momonji, naka-down ng isa.
Pero knockdown din siya dito. And Momonji will fall down sa ating blue zone dito. Hindi na siya mare-revive ng Archangel Predator. Ngayon yung Archangel Predator, meron yung delikado ko. Naxi with spray. 1 down mula dito sa Buriram Esports. They have a 5 kills in total. Ngayon kung mapapansin nyo yung Cerberus Esports, mag-isa na lang. And ginawa na siyang target shooting ng Fury. Inside. Bumabaril mismo doon sa ating
Joxy taking down Nedsa though, but Fury mga kapatid, galit na galit from Australia, taking down Nedsa, and one team for Team PCS, pero nga CJ is now down as well. Flash from Day Trade Gaming taking down CJ18,
Calbs
pero
na lang.
Calbs mga kapatid, pinapaulo na ng Molly, pero Flash taking down Calbs with that Molotov. Archangel Predator is eliminated.
Pang 11 sila
Pang
sa round
12.
Pang 12 sila sa
Oo.
round na to. At di lang yun, paring Bill, 3 points na lang din yung nadagdag sa Archangel Predator. 3 points nung game number 1, 3 points nung this game number 2. So medyo hindi maganda yon para sa Archangel
Actually, yung
Predator.
nangyari ng PCS1, ang Archangel Predator yung mga simula ng matches, hindi naman talaga sila yung nasa top eh.
Hindi.
Malay mo,
Mahabol
bumawi
lang
sila
din.
mamaya talaga. Actually, may mga teams na ganun talaga eh. Gusto yung mahirap yung buhay nila eh.
Hindi. But still, we're still about 2 more left para dito sa day number 1 natin. At hindi lang naman to 2 days tournament dahil maraming tournament, marami pang
Oo
next.
nga, bale mga
Parang
4 na linggo rin to eh. No?
Parang 35 matches in total ata.
Oo, 35 matches to kapatid. So, 1 week to for sure. Pero yun nga lang, Nuardra there is now down. Followed up. Oh, meron dito pero yun nga lang. Uy, grabe nang pinapakita ng Buriram Esports dito. God Meow Kunaxi and the other one taking down Team BAE. Isa lang ang natitira natin sa Team BAE. Team BAE dito. Pero yun nga lang, lumalaban pa si Flood from Battle Arena Elite.
Nasunog dito yung last member ng Bay. Yung Bay yung pinakamababambot sa pagdating dun sa winning prediction. Pero maganda kasi dito sa Bay, patunayan nila na nagkamali kayo. Na mali ang binoto nyo. Pero Bay, wala na sila dito sa ating laro. Buriram United
Yung
Esports.
mga tropa natin kanina, yung mga
Inubos.
yung mga nag-host, ang gusto talaga nila yung MSC, no?
Sila, sabi nila.
Oo, pero yun yan, nasa baba.
Nasa
talaga yung
baba
MSC.
din no. Yeah. Well, hindi rin naman natin masasabi na talo na kagad dahil game number 2 pa lang eh. Marami pang pwedeng mangyari na paano kayo. Sabi nga nila, ang buhay parang gulong. Minsan nasa taas, minsan nasa baba.
Gano'n naman talaga
Minsan,
kapatid.
paikot-ikot lang. Pero
Oo.
hindi kasi hindi kasi gulong tong laro natin eh. Barilan to eh.
Oo nga eh, maputokan ka,
Patay
ka.
Patay ka indeed.
Pero ang bilis ng game natin actually, 6 na lang ang natitira dito, 20 minutes on the clock. And that is a
Oh!
spray coming out of Puchos, ladies and gentlemen. And Day Trade Gaming annihilated Team Astra or Team Star. Yun yung magandang pinapakita nila Puchos dito. Alam niya yung kung nasa yung mga kalaban niya because of the
24
communication.
24 matches lang pala, paring Bill. Hindi pala, kala ko 5 kala ko 5 maps. 24 matches lang pala. Pero kasi ito yung mga teams natin dito, Bila, sobrang patient nila no? Hindi sila katulad ng nung nakasanayan natin teams na more on aggressive, more on engagement. Sila talagang inaano nila yung lamang nila dito. As long as meron silang lamang, gagamitin nila yun sa'yo. Like the compounds, yung Fury, tignan mo yung Fury. Hindi sila umalis diyan sa position nila kasi alam nila nasa bilog pa sila in high ground as well.
Ano lang sila, tawag dito?
Chill lang talaga.
Chill talaga,
lang,
patience for Team Fury ngayon.
Pero yung Buriram, iba eh. Sila yung nakita kong aggressive eh. Talagang pinapasok nila lahat ng yung squads na malapit sa kanila eh.
6 pa. Ay, tama, 5 na lang. 5 teams left, ladies and gentlemen, dito sa ating map number 2. And
Sobrang
swerte naman ang
Sobrang
Buriram
swerte.
United Esports dito.
Kompleto pa sila.
And this is the time that they want to keep Team Fury ngayon. Let's see if they can do that. Pero gonna see something else dito, trying to kill one. Pero ang problema kasi andyan lang sa may shock. Medyo vulnerable siya dito. Pero Fury, mga kapatid, with that high ground advantage, pero hindi na magtatagal yung advantage dito for sure. Because Buriram Esports is trying to take in that high ground for them to spot out all the players that will go inside the safe zone.
Mukhang magkakaroon ng engagement ang Buriram and Fury. Pero speaking of Fury, nakakintang Kuya Eddie, Kika, Muko, we fall down as well. That is a 1-1 exchange para sa dalawang squads na to. Pero Buruidam United Esports, Nowadra, pinatay na kagad yung isang player nila. Naku, yung big team Rise, paring Bill, hindi sila makaalis. Ang sikip kasi ng daanan nila dito.
Tino mo kung gano'ng kasakit yung bilog. Ang sakit.
ng
Diyos ko
bilog.
po. O
Oh
yun
my
na. Diyos ko
God,
si Joxy
Gen
with the help of the
Blue Zone.
of the blue zone.
Buriram United Esports, mga kaibigan, they have a 10 kills in total dito. Samantalang Fury, 6 pa. Ang maganda dito sa Buriram, paring build, 3 na lang sila. Pero yung day trade kasi, kumpleto pa.
Yun may problema. Uy, Diyos ko naman si Banotica. Nakakuha pa ng isang kuya mo from Day Trade Gaming dito. Pero that is the nades coming out to sumabog!
Oh!
Banotica with the kill, with the 3K, with the nade. GH is now over.
Oh my God, 14 kills mula sa Day Trade Gaming, mga kaibigan. Kumpleto
Pasok
pa sila dito.
sa banga.
Kumpleto
Diyos
pa sila
ko.
dito. Ang maganda dito, 4 months strong pa rin ang day trade, mga kaibigan. Hindi lang yun. Even though they have the advantage pagdating dito sa positioning nila dahil lower ground sila and the high ground potential mula dito sa Burira and also the Fury. Yung momentum din eh.
Oo.
Momentum also yung manpower eh.
3 na lang natitira dito. It's really up to Team Day tsaka Team Buriram Esports on how will they capitalize this. Pero Team Fury from Australia, meron pa naman silang 3 dito. Pero kitang-kita mo sila Konaxi, nakapwesto na dito, naghahanap na pwede mapatay si Konaxi. Pero at least, diba, dito na sa may gilid, ang Team Fury as well. And Team Buriram Esports, as you can see, trying to get inside, trying to get the middle part of the safe zone. Pero mukhang for sure magkakaroon ng bakbakan dito. This is Fury versus Day Trade Gaming.
Grabe
But
naman si
Flash finishing off all the players of Team Fury, mga kapatid.
Ganun kabilis.
One-man team wipe.
Ganun ka. Oh my God. What a player. Mula sa Day Trade, mga kaibigan. Flash with 5 kills. Pero ito na ako, nakinda Banotica sa side dito ng Day Trade Gaming. Ngayon ni Buriram Esports. Pwede silang umabante dito dahil may time pa yung ibang miyembro ng Day Trade na mag-revive. Pero ang gagaling ng Buriram Esports, hindi sila pupush. Iano lang nila yung position nila. Dahil pasok sila sa bilog, kalahati ng circle ay nasa kanila. And
Ano
tingnan
lang
natin.
yan? Magkakabakbakan lang sa gitna for sure because they have their own Regis naman eh. Pero let's see kung paano nila sasampulan.
Iintay na lang din nila talaga. They still have the Namerado dito, paring Bill, na pwede nilang gawing cover sa last phase natin. Pero the Day Trade Gaming with 17 kills.
Godmeo, umiikot to. Iikot to si Godmeo, promise.
Ibang klase, ibang klase. Sobrang hirap ng position dito. Ang unang man-knockdown. Pag na-knockdown ng isang player ng Buriram Esports, you know, Day Trade Gaming, they know what to do na kailangan talaga nilang i-push. Pero ngayon, yung Buriram Esports kasi dito, they have the advantage eh, dahil dun sa circle na hawak nila.
Uy, grabe naman. Si Godmeo, mga kapatid, na natatamaan pa dito si Norins dito.
Kaya pumush na. Kinorner na paring Bill. Medyo delikado na dito ang Buriram dahil
uy, look at that nade coming from Vanotica again. Diyos ko, kanina pa.
Granada,
kanina pa
no?
si Vanotica. Lahat na lang pinasabog yung muka. Pero Vanotica right there trying to go with that smoke grenade. Let's see if meron pa siya mapapatay dito, mga kaibigan, with all those flashes. Pero that is the spray down coming from God Meow. Pero Vanotica again, mga kaibigan, finishing the game. Vanotica the MVP. Utang na loob, Banotica!
What?
Ilang granada ang pinasabog mo?
Oh my God. They have, I guess, more than 20, no? 21 or 2019, mga ganun.
Kills?
Ang kills nila.
Tingnan natin.
2020, saradong 20 dahil 17 kills sila nung
Diyos ko.
20 kills in total. Game number 2 plus the chicken dinner. In total of 30 points. Day Trade Gaming. What a play para dito sa squad na to. Ibang klase, paring Bill.
Day Trade Gaming proving themselves
Top 1.
na talagang isa sila sa pinakamagaling dito. All the way from Thailand, my friends. Team AAP, they tried so hard. Tatlo lang yung napatayin nila. At least, makakabawi pa sila for sure.
Ito, yung Divine Esports, pare. Sila yung nag-push. Nali ko rin sila dito ni Paring Ken using the AUG at isa rin talaga. Ito yung isa sa mga pinaka-upset na nangyari sa Divine Esports dahil naubos kaagad sila eh. Hindi man lang sila nakapatay ng isa. Pero Buriram Esports, kung mapapansin nyo, ibang klase rin ang ginawa ng Buriram Esports. Getting a lot of kills, just crashing. Ito yung mga...
Uy, ito yung ginawa ni Tonkey, oh.
Yung mga unquestionable crush.
Actually, gusto ko yung ginawa ni Banotica. Yung
Granada, yes.
Yun ang inaantay ko eh.
Ay no, inside, through the smoke, in-import.
Kitang-kita rin eh.
Calves, ito yung ito, tinangka din talaga. Tinangka din ng AAP na kunin tong spot ng Day Trade Gaming, but kulang sila sa manpower. Grabe yung Buriram dito. Dami
Kita mo yung spray control? Solid eh, no?
Dami na lang squad na napatay.
Oo.
Ito sinunog eh.
Sunod. Labas sila. Push.
There you go. The squad wipe. The spray. Naunahan din talaga ng Fury. Ito, yung victim risk, kababa rin.
For team day trade
ito yung granada eh, no?
Oo.
Sok. Lutong-luto.
Lutong-lutong maayos. Walang nagawa.
Alam mo, ito si Flash yung ibang klase si Flash eh. Sobrang
yung inubos si Team Fury. And
there
now,
you go.
look at that. The winner check in there.
20
Congratulations
kills.
Team Day Trade Gaming with 20 kills inside their pockets. That is like one of the biggest wins dito sa tournament natin so far. If we're gonna compare this to PCS1 as well, sobrang taas ng points. Sobrang taas ng 20 kills, ha?
3 points lang ang Archangel Predator, 3 kill points. Getting the 9th spot para dito sa match leaderboard natin. Day Trade Gaming with 30 points, 20 kill points, 10 points. And so syempre dito walang iba kundi na Buriram. Ang laki ng nilayo ng Day Trade kagad dito, ha?
Oo,
14
agad, pero for sure babawi pa rin naman yung mga friends. For Team B, isa lang din yung nakuha nila dito. Sobrang sayang. Pero at least, ang mga tropa natin from Divine Esports at saka kasabi Team DXG, Division X Gaming, dalawa lang ang napatay nila dito. Knowing na sila yung nag-check-in dinner kanina, di ba? Alam mo ba, intro boys ba o hindi?
Hindi. Feeling ko hindi naman kita mo naman. No? Top 2, top 1, top 2, top 3.
Sa Team Day
Trade Gaming. Indonesia to, no?
talaga. Ha? Thailand.
Ay, Thailand.
Yeah.
Yung 1 to 5 natin, guys, Thailand.
Thailand. Miskin sa PCS1, Thailand pa rin
Thailand
talaga.
din talaga, no? Yes.
And you've seen the map too and the stats as well, ladies and gentlemen. And after the break, actually, bago ng mapa, we're gonna go back.
Erangel map na.
Tama. We're gonna go back to Erangel. Any last thoughts?
The El Clasico para dun sa ating Erangel. Feeling ko dun sa Erangel map, dun talaga natin makikita yung usually rotation ng mga squads natin. Siguro may mga players lang talaga na hindi sila masyadong gamay ngayon as of now yung Miramar natin dahil first game mo Miramar kagad, hindi ka pa masyadong papainit, di ba?
Actually.
Pero for this map Erangel, I guess makakita tayo dito ng mga siguro mababaliktad natin to. Pwede mabaliktad. Especially the Archangel Predator, we know them na magaling talaga pagdating sa Erangel map. And iba yung gameplay talaga ng Erangel map kumpara sa Miramar. More on compound kasi ang ating Erangel map kumpara mo dun sa Erangel sa Miramar na more on high grounds and also the open field. Pero still guys, sa mga nanonood dyan, suportahan natin ang Philippine representative ng PUBG, walang iba kundi the Archangel Predator.
And up next, ladies and gentlemen, is Erangel naman. So wag kayong aalis dyan. And again, you are watching the PUBG Continental Series Season 2 for the Asia Pacific region. We are your caster for the day. My name is Zival. Alongside with me is Berting Magiting. See you after the break. And we are back mga kaibigan dito sa ating PUBG Continental Series Season 2 for the Asia Pacific region. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Phil. Alongside with me is Berting Magitan, and you've seen the Map 1 and Map 2 of our tournaments right now. And congratulations sa ating mga tropa sa Day Trade Gaming. Actually, watching their games nung Map 2, deserving talaga sila na manalo dito eh. With Flash, with Vanotica, yung mga niraid nila, yung mga pinasabog nila, they really deserved to get that chicken dinner. Plus, knowing na nakakuha sila ng 20 kills, what can you say about that?
Sobrang ganda ng game 2 na dahil nakuha kagad nila yung top 1 natin dito sa ating scoreboard. Hindi lang yun, paring Bill, sobrang momentum din talaga. And maganda rin talaga yung rotation nila nung game number 2 kung mapapansin mo. Same with the Buriram Esports. Talagang lahat sinisilip nila eh. Lahat pinapatay nila. Lahat na makita nila sa mapa, tinatry nilang i-crash. And still, Day Trade Gaming getting the 20 kills with the chicken dinner. Hindi biro yun, paring Bill, with this kind of tournament.
And now map number 3, we're now here dito sa nagbabalik tayo dito sa Erangel mga kapatid.
Naku po, Milta Power pamunta ng Primors ang ating airplane path. So basically the Archangel Predator, pwede sila pumunta ng Gatka, which is yung usualing drafting spot nila dito. And kung mapapansin nyo, Buriram United Esports, unang pa sa first na bumaba. Sumunod dito walang iba kundi the Astra. Pupunta sila ng Lenovo, and KT going to Lenovo. Fury will go sa military base. At ayun na nga, speaking of Archangel Predator, they will go sa Gatka and Gatka outskirts. Yan yung mga drafting spots
yung mga favorite
ng
nila
AAP.
no?
Yes.
Pero magkakaroon tayo ng maagang babasagan dito. Hindi na.
Kumuha agad ng barrel dito si Locals.
Takot si Genfos dito eh.
Baka nga naman kasi matomigan.
Tinatakot siya ni Lokis eh.
Wag kang magtatangkang
More
patay
codes
na
for
ako.
you guys. All you have to do is type in that code sa ating PUBG client. Maganda ngayon. Mukhang maganda ang bilog ngayon para sa Divine Esports. Agit na agad sila.
Nasa prison sila dito. Ang dito, parang video, walang tao dun sa taas ng ating mapa dahil
sa Rozok pataas wala eh.
So sobrang dito ng ibang squads na usually yung drafting zone nila is nasa bandang taas ng ating Rozok.
Pero ang FTF mukhang pupunta ata dito sa school, so mukhang exciting yun kasi alam naman natin ang school medyo maganda ang bakbakan
maganda rin ang spot. Pero Archangel Predator CJ18, meron siya ditong kalaban mga kaibigan. Here comes the frag grenade mula dito kay CJ18, pero nasa labas na yung isang miyembro ng DXG, and that will be Sapaw. This will be a 1v1 situation dito. CJ18 the spray using the AKM, and CJ killing one member for the side of DXG. Una pa sa early. That is the first blood para dito sa game number 3. Archangel Predator, the Philippine representative. Kailangan nilang humabol dito sa day number 1 natin para hindi lumayo yung score pagdating ng day number 2. Pero CJ18, magandang umpisa yon para dito sa AAP dahil nakakuha sila ng kills and nabawasan yung manpower ng DXC, which is yung nakakuha
which is actually importante rin dito makakuha agad ng Team AAP ng kills, knowing na Team DXC sila yung nag-champ, sila yung chicken dinner kanina. So at least diba, sobrang binababa ng Team AAP yung chances na makakuha ulit ang Team DXG ng isa pa.
Yes, indeed. And dahil si Sapaw din, sobrang reliable players din nun. So basically, nabawasan mo yung manpower and malulugi sila pagdating ng mga late game casualties like phase number 5, 'di ba? Dahil kulang kayo ng isa eh. Pero ito paring Buriram United Esports. Sabi mo nga sila yung number 1 pagdating dun sa napili na pwedeng mag-champion sa tournament na to. Pero dahil sa pinakita ng Day Trade Gaming, pwedeng maging hadlang no, yung Day Trade Gaming dun sa sa prediction ng ibang players.
Oo knowing na yung mga and dun sa prediction na rin ng ginawa ng mga viewers din natin, knowing na top 1 ang Buriram at saka Team Fury, pero mukhang wala pa atang nagagawa dito.
Wala pa. Ako ang binoto ko, AAP ako ang binoto.
AAP rin naman
kasi
ako
yung wala naman yung boat na yan coupon lang naman yan kung manalo ka, diba, times 2 o times 10, makakuha ka ng 100,000 points kung daw nagkakamali. Yung orange na parang coin, pwede mong ibili ng mga skins. Yun eh, kaso meron na ako nun eh. So, pwede ko ata i-trade yun. Feeling ko pwede i-trade eh.
Oh, pwede yun.
Pwede, no?
Patik, sir.
O guys, kung gusto niyo ng skin ha, i-email lang ako. I-email lang ako.
Iwan ko mama yung ano ko, yung trade link.
Yung PCS2 code. Meron ako nun.
Pinipeno daw liberty yung Steam account.
Ay, wala tayo. Bawal tayo magbenta. Paano? Subang!
Tinan mo naman, Diyos ko. Si Subang kasi medyo problemado na tao yan eh.
Pinuti na
Oo,
ako.
namuti na ang buhok ng kuya mo. Diyos ko naman.
Si Subang. Well, itong Cerberus Esports, okay rin ito maglaro eh. Dahil, pero ngayon, medyo egul yung game 1 and game 2 nila dahil masyado silang nauubos sila eh. Wala pa sa phase number 6 or 7, nauubos na kagad yung squad ng Cerberus Esports. Pero ngayon, paring Bill, the Victim Rise, Kamals, Simoy, Genpos, and si Chibirit ang lineup nila dito, and they will rotate as soon as possible using the SUV. Pero ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo guys, wala pang masyadong kalaban. Malapit sila sa may bandang Yasnaya, Poliana.
And now Team VTR andito lang dito sa may compound na to. Medyo tahimik. Tahimik ang buhay ng Team VTR ngayon.
Indeed. Tahimik ang buhay ng Victim Rise dito. One of the teams na sobrang tagal na rin talaga sa PUBG scene. Samantalang the MSC, they're near at Georgia Paul Crates. And looting din sila. Lasan ba yung Archangel of Predator? After they go to the Gatka outskirts, naglulot na rin talaga siguro yung ibang miyembro ng EEP. Ito si Rosita Jr. Nagbago na yung picture niya.
Oo.
Nakaraan, si Empoy.
Oo, Empoy ngayon medyo naligaw.
Upgraded na.
Upgraded na ang kuya mo.
Picture dito ni Rosita Jr. Pero Katie Ners ba? At yung mga delikado.
Okay lang, actually, delikado pero at least okay lang. Buti nilang walang nag-ano dyan. Walang mga ambush.
Walang gatekeep, no? Tignan mo, nagde-drip. Oh!
Ngoktan, mga kaibigan, isa sa pinakakilalang players na sa PCS1 is now dead. Long K.
Gaano kahaba yung K nito? Si Long K. Killing Noctang, moving vehicle, paring Bill. Paano ka? Diba?
Oo, sa bagay. Pero at least, diba, si Sapaw, wala na si Sapaw dito. 1-1 trade, all good sa rin.
Diba, sobrang malas naman ng XS dito dahil hindi lang isang nawala, dalawa ang nawala sa kanila. Ay, hindi. Ibang pala yun. Ibang teams. DXG pala si Sapaw. Isa sa X-Stadium and DXG. Sobrang aga nila nawala dito sa tournament natin. Wala pang 2 minuto ang tinatagal nila dito sa game number 3. Naku po. Fury Insight. Tamang gatekeep lang dito sa ating bridge. So guys, habang wala pa naman nangyayari dito, sa mga nanonood pala dyan, i-share nyo na po yung stream and syempre supportahan nyo yung ating Philippine representative. Walang iba kundi the Archangel Predator. Also shoutouts nga pala sa ating mga sponsor, the PUBG, Crafton Game Union, and
Uy, mukhang si Basil Valdez na naman. Diyos ko, ano bang meron kay Basil? Lagi na lang siya pinupuntahan ng mga squad dito, mga kaibigan. And now, Magic Esports is right here trying to retake this house, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Basil there, nandito sa may second floor.
Delikado si Basil dito.
Wala na siyang lalabasan dyan. At least meron pa siyang window dito. Isarado na yung pinto, pero walang tao sa loob. Walang tao sa labas. Pero yun.
Naku po, Kuya Basil Valdez. Ang problema ngayon dito ng ibang miyembro ng MG, nandito na yung player ng Cerberus. Here comes the pick mula dito kay paring Basil. Meron siyang pre-aim dito, mga kaibigan. Ano yung gagawin ng ibang miyembro ng Cerberus Esports? Zeiko with a frag grenade. Pero Tongkay fire some shot. And Zeiko taking some shot dito. The spray mula kay Basil and Sulabi will fall down. Doon sa may bandang labas natin. Ngayon si Haizaki. Ate, hindi pumasok yung frag grenade.
Sobrang sayang kung pumasok sana yun. For sure, ubos na ang Team MG, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Basil na dito na! With a kill! Trying to go for a second. Pero yun, hinahanap pa rin niya. And
Magic
sobrang
Emperor!
solid, mga kaibigan. Dalawa agad ang napatay ni Basil dito. Magic Esports, ladies and gentlemen.
Squad wipe!
Is now over. Squad wipe, yes indeed. Ano kasi yung ginagawa nyo? Ba't kasi kayo nagpupush dun sa mga compound na na secured na meron na nag-aantay.
Hindi kasi nila kagad pinasok sa taas. And there you go. Cerberus Esports getting a 4 kills, mga kaibigan, at inubos nila yung buong Magic squad.
This is gonna be
Wow, Magic.
this is gonna be a fast game compared sa compared sa
Game number 2.
sa Miramar actually, pero yun nga lang, that is the spray coming off Gen Frost from Victim Rise, trying to do a spray down dito sa FTF, pero yun nga lang, maliit lang yung nadadamage na kukuha niya. Pero Gen Frost, pinapakita lang niya kung pinapakita lang talaga niya kung yung location nila eh. Pero we can see more engagements right here, pero it's not yet over for Team FTF. Dalawang squad ang ang tinakbuhan nila.
Grabe dito yung from the future. Wala silang mapuntahang bahay dahil lahat ng gusto nilang puntahan. Okay, pwede nilang kunin tong bahay na to na malapit mismo sa ating shelter, which is yung tinatawag natin the ambush. Dahil marami nang namatay dyan, marami na ang na-crash. Karin. Pilipino ba to? Karin. Piso na lang buhay niya eh.
Nga pa may nagsabi sa'yo, Karin.
Karin, Pwede. Nako, Fury, Paringville, 58 players, 10 minutes into the game, 15 squads, isa pa lang ang nawawala, at yung nawalang squad na yun is the Magic Gaming. Mga kaibigan, the KT squads ngayon, they will go to the Milta Power, which is nag-aabang mismo yung ibang squad doon sa may bandang Lenovo. Dito bumaba mismo yung Buriram United Esports, which is yung ating current number 4 team sa ating scoreboard. And the Archangel Predator, huling kita natin sa Archangel Predator, nandun sila sa may bandang Gatka outskirts, and hindi pa sila pinapakita dito sa ating camera. So basically, baka yung Archangel Predator, pwede silang pumunta mismo dun sa Georgia Paul or hospital, which is malapit sa kanila yun. Pero yung bilukas natin is nasa may bandang right side. So basically, baka dumiretso na sila ng Yasnaya,
Spray coming out of nowhere. Let's see if makakadawin pa sila isa, pero it's not yet over from Buriram Esports though. Trying to spray down ang Team KT dito, pero na-down na dito ang dalawang players ng KT. It's really up to them how will they capitalize down. God Meow killing Musatsai.
Yun, Momonjo is down.
Style G is now down as well, pero si Jankutov, Diyos ko po, namatay yung isang tropa natin from
Patay ang
which is
suporta.
Momonji.
Patay ang support dito ng Archangel Predator. Yung support player natin na si Momonji has been killed sa kamay dito ni Janku. At yung isang support na lang na natitira is si Boss Kila na lang. Dahil Prager kasi yan eh. Si Calbs tsaka si CJ18 eh.
Sa mga nagtataka kasi, dito sa PUBG, meron tayong mga roles.
Yes.
Ano ba yung mga roles?
Meron tayong Prager na tinatawag. Yung Prager, sila yung taga-spray, taga-patay. Kumbaga sa sila yung the ace player.
Sila killer.
Support guys, sila yung nasa backline. Lagi sila yung nagre-report, blah blah blah, mga ganyan. Meron tayong lurker na tinatawag, which is usually ginagamit sa mga FPS game like CSGO, mga ganyan.
Si Kila yun, yung lurker.